leave it to the professionals.
Last by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Bode.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us a real solid. You also find up there the link to the abstract chat. We're live on my abstract today, as well as YouTube. As always, it's Friday, so if you haven't yet signed up for our newsletter, we greatly appreciate that. We don't spam you by any means. Just get one a week on Fridays with the weekly recap and links to all the shows. You haven't to miss any. So it's the only way Payne gets paid. He gets paid $1 per email newsletter subscriber per new on the week. So let's go help him get him a few more shekels. He too is down bad on his OpenSea farm. So make sure we in a more appropriate banner there below. But as always, I'm Captain. I'm my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky. If you ever doubted that, just look at the charts this morning. NFTs are risky. Meme coins exception risky. Go to 0 to moment's notice. Like literally can go to 0 to moment's notice. Again, see said charts. And we're not financial advisors. Certainly not your financial advisor. Don't join us for that. Just join us for some fun, some information, a little bit of back and forth on OpenSea farms, and maybe a little bit of education along the way. GM Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM, doing well. I mean, I guess give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room. Probably worth, as we get warmed up, since it's one of those Fridays. You mentioned NFTs. I should have sold my Moonbirds at a slight loss yesterday. Not my Moonbirds, my Mythics and my Oddities at a slight loss yesterday. Had the chance. I've been talking about getting out of that except for one of each, and I didn't. And so bad job on me on that one. But man,
I told you gotta sell pumps, and what Ooh,
Sell
boy,
the rips,
it is
buy the
down.
dips. It's just that
Yeah,
easy.
sell the
Like,
rips,
I don't
buy
know
the dips. Yep.
why we don't all do it. Got greedy. Also, like, I still think there's probably still like one more pump in those suckers. But I could be wrong. But
I don't think it TGs until Q1 at this point.
yeah, it was yeah, yesterday might have been my last chance like this year to get out of those suckers. So is what it
It's just
is.
it's gonna depend on what happens with the overall larger markets. If crypto keeps crashing like this, people are just gonna keep selling shit to avoid liquidations on their levered positions on the majors.
It's an ugly one. I mentioned on the I kind of just put a tweet out this morning. Like and I know we'll get into the OpenSea stuff. We'll let the room warm up a little bit because we may have differing opinions. We may have the same opinion. I have no idea. Your math was pretty good on that. You've been doing the math on
none of
this
them have math. My read on the sentiment, and again, I will take. I wasn't planning on this. Let's warm up a little bit. It wasn't just my math; it was the read on market sentiment, and people just can't do math, or they don't understand expected value.
I guess that was, and again, we'll get into it in a little bit. Like, we won't just jump right into it. I promise we won't keep saying we're not going to get into it and then get into it. But like your point on like plus EV and negative EV gains, like we had this conversation, and my exact answer was like, yes, like that's why you're not playing, and I'm playing the way that I'm playing. Like I was trading NFTs to make money. So it's funny.
It was very negative EV. It looked like that from the jump. That's why I was so adamantly against the farm and why I did not participate, because it was just very clear and obvious to me it was a negative EV farm. The only way it becomes positive EV is if those treasures, not treasure chests, but if those treasures lead to some outsized C reward, then it's not negative EV. But there's just way too much unknown, and it's like hoping a prayer that OpenSea rewards you outsized rewards for these farmers. And I hope they don't, because if they do, even though it's already decided, that's coming at the expense of real users, because they allocated too much to the current farmers as opposed to the real users. And
farmers a lot. I mean, we've seen many a times farmers get hurt.
Yeah.
And it was yeah. So we'll get more into that as we go. But it's funny because I think a lot of people are like, oh, you guys are going to kill this tomorrow morning. And I'm like, I approached it with the exact same mentality I had and didn't change anything. And I was like, and Cap is just like it's funny because it's not like a thing of discussion we had. It's like, I'm like, Cap will probably just victory lap the fact that he was exactly right the whole time about it, and not in like it's almost like you would have been more upset if the farm heard everything else, and you're kind of like sitting there, you're like, no, like the farmers got hit a little bit if we were just hardcore farming. But again, we'll jump into that a little bit. Oh, I forgot, I need to open for StreamYard. I need to open a Zoom meeting to make sure my screen doesn't flash, because if I have a concurrent random Zoom meeting with just me and going, so I can be recorded by multiple things at the same time, because I'm sure they do active recording and all that good stuff. But yeah, Cap, I mean, markets don't feel good. October is a myth. We talked about not having traditional cycles anymore. Did not expect it going the direction of we're not having traditional cycles, which means October is not a thing. I know some people said like, we might hit early and then we'll take an absolute god run after. I'm not so sure. Feeling not great about the market when Tom Lee was saying that sort of the DAT bubble has burst at one point recently, and who's running a DAT, so not great. Feels like people are. It's sort of the same idea too of like the timing of the chests was at like the worst possible time, as far as like if the market was ripping, people would be feeling a lot better if that 0.2 on ETH they got wasn't $800 and it was $1,200, and that's not great. It's sort of like Spencer making the comments about the, I didn't think it was great what he said about Good Vibes Club, disagreed with how he approached it, but even doing it on a day when the market got nuked was bad. There's no control over what they did here. But yeah, man, it is definitely when are we going to get a true October market? Are we cooked? Is it coming? It's hard because nothing seemed to have changed. Traditional markets were down, obviously, and we're going to go down more than that because we're tracking trad markets a lot more now. Like the world has more uncertainty, but it's like, it just feels messy, man.
I think there's still a lot of based on looking at charts, I think an outsized proportion relative to the total market caps, combined market caps of crypto versus TradFi I think there was far greater amount of traders, day traders even, in crypto relative to the entire crypto investor pool than there is in traditional markets. And as a result of that, when I don't even know. I'm guessing like this whole sell-off last night was a result of the Trump press conference or something. Like I don't even know what the hell happened. But Trump said something. Trump didn't say something, and it led to markets crashing. And so when markets crash now, crypto is so tied to TradFi, they're just going to crash further. Like I don't know, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Trump is like he's like super handsome. He's like the ultimate KOL. And when he
really is. Like jokes aside, he's markets ebb and flow with what this guy says, and it's crazy. Like it's crazy because they react so quickly, knowing that things can change so quickly as well. Like whatever's going on with China, the entire thing could be done next week, and yet we're going to eviscerate hundreds of billions of dollars in markets because of I don't even know. Like I don't even understand what's going on. Something about China tariffs again, I guess, and cooking.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's like this whiplash that just gets very exhausting. I think a little bit. So like
uncertainty. I think that's what it is. Markets don't like uncertainty, and we have uncertain, I guess, geopolitical strife between U.S. and China again, and let's sell things.
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable spot where it's like the whiplash of we are it's just this whiplash from like I think like in the past week we've seen in the past week 100% tax on China or 100% tariff raise on China on top of what we got, followed by president's going to meet with China. We're going to work this thing out. Followed by we are in a trade war with China in all three. And it's like, again, I'm not saying any funny business is happening, but I just do wonder how many people get the drop on this sort of thing beforehand and make a call and make a play. Like it's sort of like, like you see these sports betting scandals get caught. And it's not necessarily the teams that are doing it, but somebody in the team who hears from the team, who gets the team, who then trickles it down and somebody's like, cool, make the bet. Because like, I'm not saying it's being done for these reasons. I'm more saying
Klaus is cooked, isn't he? On that note, real quick, like he's never going to play in the major league again. I don't know if it was true. That's what I saw. I said, hey, he's done.
Who's that?
Emmanuel Class A. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah. Class A or whatever. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And it's like
they basically confirmed he was throwing games as a closer, and like he's done. Like Pete Rose done. Even though Pete didn't bet against himself, whereas Class A did is far worse. I mean, this guy was like the best closer in baseball 2 years ago. Now he's never going to play again because he was throwing games.
Yeah.
Surprised that hasn't made it into more of the news.
You know what? It's interesting, but I think it's like people don't really care about the Guardians. Unfortunately, I think it would have been more interesting if they had made more of a run. I don't know. Like, shout out to Steven Voigt though, because like you look at a manager who got them to the postseason despite having a closer throw games and multiple people get in trouble, and then like ended up driving that team all the way to be the hottest team in baseball. I don't know, man. It's like, but yeah, like it's like this whole thing is like such whiplash on the markets, and it's like I don't understand the strategy as. And maybe I just am not smart enough to wrap my head around it, but I don't understand the strategy of Trump, who's like a market-friendly president or wants to be a market-friendly president, sends him into a tailspin, sends him up, sends him into a tailspin. I mean, it really is based on what he says and does. And like, it's funny. I heard a clip that got served to me on YouTube the other day from somebody who is like a former like FBI guy or CIA guy. I don't remember, but like he knows the international relations. Like he's led international relations overseas. And he made this comment where he's like, China's cool just waiting us out. They've existed for far longer than we have, and will continue to do their thing and have figured it out. And it's like, they'll just figure it out and they'll wait us out on this thing. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what a trade deal looks like. I don't have strong opinions. I also think, I don't know. I don't want to get into it this morning, like with like too much political stuff, but like we can say we don't like the way other countries operate, But in a global economy, like we can't tell other countries what to do, right? Like that's not the world we live in. And it's like working within the system we have. Obviously, if other countries are doing things that violate like sort of treaties and are like threatening and life threatening to other countries, yes, absolutely. Within the work, like a world of trade, like we do need to figure out how to best work with countries or not. And it's just, I just think we're in this situation where it's like trade wars benefit absolutely nobody except the top most rich people. And so it's just like, we work it out for your country and your constituents. Cause right now it just feels like we're having more and more consternation around this. So anyway, it's a different again, I don't want to get too political because people will be like, oh, well, you support this. I don't know enough about geopolitics to be like truly deep.
So, well, again, Orange Man said calling tariff China, Trump calling China tariffs off again. That just happened apparently, and it erased a 500-point drop in the Dow. Turned positive on when he said no when asked if high tariffs will remain on China. We aren't serious people, including traditional markets. None of us are serious here.
No, we're not. We're not serious people. We have to wait on. I mean, and that's I think the tricky part is like I think we do. I do think it's tricky that we run into these. Like it's on the whims of like what somebody says, and I don't know. Like I think there are some things about Trump that I'm sure a lot. There are things to like, there are things to not like. I think this is one where it's like depending on your feeling of the whole thing. Most presidents, I think, are a little more measured in how they approach these sort of things, and don't just kind of shoot from the hip. So I don't know, man. I don't know, and I think I Can't Trade's got a whole thing on the tariffs. I don't want to like get deep into tariffs again. That was not a fun period of time when we had like a month period of time when tariffs were the talk of the town. And I have economist friends, I have other friends. I don't know. I don't want to get deep into that, but Cap, what do you?
We may not be experts on geopolitical tariff talks, but tune in here for more Emmanuel Class A talk. Shout out to Adam. Keep Fishing says markets completely demolished, down 20% in 10 days. Cap, not enough people are talking about Emmanuel Class A.
I mean, there's the thing with the markets. We've been here in extreme bear markets. We've been here when ETHs.
I'm numb to the shit. Like it doesn't feel good. I don't like seeing my numbers down, but I'm not, it doesn't change my life. Like I wasn't cashing out today anyways. Like mine just got a little smaller. That's all.
I mean, look,
not going to get a car. I'm going to keep driving a beat up old Jeep for a while until things turn. In all seriousness, I had this conversation yesterday, 2 days ago. Like I need a new car. I'm driving a beat up old Jeep for no reason. I despise car purchasing. I'm not a fan. And I'm probably just going to buy a car. I'm probably not going to take financing out on with these rates as the way they are. And I don't want to, it's a depreciating asset. I don't want to depreciate an asset right now. I'd like to ride this quarter out, and I had the conversation yesterday before this crash. Like, it's like, I don't need anything right now. It gets me A to B. I don't care. I'm not into like material things. I'm not going to drive a big fucking flashy sports car anyways. It's just going to be a nicer, newer car. That's it. It should be newer. I don't want to. Yeah, it's like you can make double-digit yield on fucking stable coins right now. It's silly to me to take that out of the market and go pay near that in interest on a car. It's like, so it's a double whammy. And I think we had a good fourth. Now I'm going to look like a fucking idiot if come December Bitcoin's. She even said, she goes, can you just take loans against those? Like I can, but I'm also paying 10%ish, interest on any loans on those assets. Now I'm going to look like a fucking idiot if it's 50K Bitcoin and $1,200 ETH come December. But I just don't think that's the case. I don't think the cycle's over. I just think it's people are way too hanging on every word of Trump. And I don't know, maybe things get worse before they get better. I don't know. I'm not good at timing the market. I just think zooming out, there's just way too much positive stuff in our favor, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, by the way, I started off the week fantastic with started off the weekend fantastic. I did make some money, but Bengals money line last night was my play. I
was close hitting 50x last night.
I need one more catch
from DK Metcalf, a 7-yard catch from DK Metcalf, and it would have been well over 50x night for me. I hit on everything except for DK Metcalf's lines.
It is funny how there's always markets to beat, because like I almost brought up on Bunchu Sweats because I was trying to have fun with it. I did Bunchu Sweats with him on Wednesday, or Bunchu Sweats, Billy Sweats with Bunchu on Wednesday. And I brought up a couple of different we brought up different markets for fun. So the one I brought up because I wanted to be entertaining was, will the US confirm aliens exist at 4%, and gave like a compelling reason as to why that market can go from 4 to 10% and why you can get your money in now or whatever, just like on Polymarket for funsies. Should have gone with the Bengals money line that I was feeling. In fact, I mentioned on the show, I'm like, I have a stinky bet for Thursday Night Football that nobody's going to like. But I felt Flacco getting situated in the offense. Steelers defense actually not good, even though people think TJ Watt and they're not. And felt like a good letdown spot for the Steelers. And sure enough, it was. So Bengals money line was a good one. Sorry you did not cash your 50K, but good night in the streets for those who like to play. So starting off on a big one and on a money line bet, I don't remember what the plus was on that. I'll have to check, but it was like they were like 6.5 point dogs. So it was a good juicy, like a plus 350, something like that on the money line. So feeling good about that. Joey Vowles, I don't know what in the grand scheme of our cold open, because I was actually going to talk about, DeCap and I were talking diet and exercise beforehand, did not bring it on air. So I don't know if you somehow, maybe we were hot mic'd again, but before the show, that always gets Joey Vowles up and gets the Joey Vowles blood going. But GM, sir, how you doing this morning? I hear no Joey, so I don't think you're do you not have the thing dialed up?
I can hear Joey.
Can people on the stream hear Joey? So if you're on the stream and Joey was talking, I know we need about a 15-second delay. If you're in the abstract chat, if you are in the YouTube chat.
Shit. It's on me. My settings were off. It's flipped back to my MacBook mic. Did one of the rare things.
All right. I think we have.
Hello, check.
There we go. Joey Bartholomew Vowles, Esquire the Third. Go ahead.
My bad, everyone. I'm sure my bad pain as well, because those first 21 minutes were probably garbage coming from the MacBook mic, but.
So real quick, both Cleveland Guardians pitchers were suspended due to player props, not for throwing games. So Emmanuel Clase was suspended because he was basically throwing a ball the first pitch of the inning, like 78% of the time. And when they looked at the bets on him throwing a ball, I don't know if the 78% is correct. I have to go look it up, but it was some like absurd number that the first pitch of the ninth inning when he came into the game was a ball. So they started to find irregularities, and he was subsequently suspended on the player prop of first pitch being a ball or first pitch being a strike. So that's why he was suspended. And then Luis Ortiz, the other Cleveland Guardians pitcher, same player prop bet on pitches, ball versus strike. So neither one of them were throwing games for the Guardians. They were still trying to win. They were just making sure that pitching prop bet was hitting ball versus strike. And I think both of them were because the obscure amount of balls they were throwing as first pitches, which is what and these opened up the eyes of Major League Baseball.
And these really neat, these are just dumb. Like, they lack basic intelligence. In today's world where there's so many eyeballs on everything, there's so much AI out there, these super, super niche player props, like, who the hell's betting on Emmanuel Clase to throw the first pitch ball in the ninth inning? There's probably less than 500 people in the world that he ever put action on that. And then all of a sudden, you see huge upticks in volume on this random, weird, niche player prop. And oh, by the way, it's hitting an insane accurate clips. Like, you're going to get caught. Like, it's just, I don't know. As
long as you're Shohei Ohtani, you are set, though.
Well, you gotta have an interpreter. That's
you gotta have a fall guy.
Yeah, you gotta have a fall guy.
Someone's
you're Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, you have to have a fall guy. But for a pitcher, it's just dumb, man. You're gonna get caught.
Yeah, it was like when they were talking about it, because I remember when this first came out, like the amount of first pitch balls he threw, it's just not possible for a pitcher of his tier, right? Like, he was literally the best closer in baseball last year, and a pitcher at his level to throw that many first pitch balls, it's like, come on, you got to be smarter than that.
You're so dumb because you're talking. These are multi-million-dollar athletes. if you're not familiar with player props like this, like, I don't know, a bunch could tell us like the most they're getting down in any book is maybe $5,000. Like you're limited. And if they win a few, they're definitely getting limited. It's like you're risking millions of dollars to go win a few grand, like 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, putting your multi-million-dollar contract at risk. It's like, what are you thinking? It's
Unless
like,
you're
I would wager he wasn't the one betting though. I would wager it's his friends, it's his family that are making these bets to make
Sure.
for them to make money, but he's caught because he's essentially like he's guilty because he's playing into it by
or
purposely
it's a
playing a ball.
situation,
You know
or
what
it's
I'm
a
saying?
I think it's a federal crime. I think it could go to like actual prison for this. No,
It could also be a situation where he's in trouble with the wrong people type thing. Like there's a lot of things that happen there because again, I can't put myself in the mind of a professional athlete or anything because I am certainly not the most athletic in the world. I'm, serviceable. I'm serviceable at every single sport and good at none. So like, you put me on a field, I can play anything serviceable, but I'm not going to be the star in any of it. But I'm not going to also stink it up for the team. I can't put myself in their mindset, but you would think if you were a multi-millionaire, you would think that you would say, okay, my friends and family need money. I'm just going to cut them a check instead of risking going to jail, right? So there's a good chance, even with the wrong people, I mean, that's what Tim Donahue had. I mean, we just glaze over the fact that basketball was rigged for a period of time, which was crazy, and some of the games there. And then there was the, and basically he was like, yeah, I was in with the wrong people and I had to make some moves. So wouldn't surprise me if that was the case on that one. But yeah, we shall see, man. It'll be interesting to follow that one for sure, especially as a Guards fan. I'm super excited for more negative press. I think that'll be so fun for us because, things can't just go well for us. And I'm proud as hell of that team, I will say, for sure. But it is what it is.
The other thing real quick too, Cap, about the car. So when interest rates are really high with cars, one of the things you should look at, because this is what I did like during COVID when interest rates and car prices went like crazy, is if you look at the lease factor on vehicles, a lot of times you can find a vehicle with a really good lease factor. And what that means is that you're getting the car at a price. Like if you lease a car, which most people are like, oh, don't lease a car, you're just throwing in money away. But if you get a car with a really good lease factor, you can keep your payments really low for the first 3 to 4 years.
and then buy it.
And then if it has, and then buy, because if it has a good lease factor, that means at the end of the lease, the car is going to retain its value, which means you can then go get like a very good low interest loan from like your credit union, which is what I did for my vehicle.
How are Tesla's on lease factor? I was looking at just a Y, just a basic Y.
You cannot buy out a lease on a Tesla. If you lease your Tesla, you have to turn it back into Tesla, and then they're allowed to resell it.
Just because they want the car to resell, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah, because they know it holds its value. So like I thought about doing that, was leasing my Tesla and then buying it out after. And they were like, sorry, you're not allowed to buy out your lease with Tesla. So I was like, well, that's out. I'm not going to lease it then.
I almost bought a used 2022 the other day. And then you look and the new ones are same price. The new model.
You can get a really good deal on a leased Tesla, but you're going to have to turn it in. And they do have like disposition fees. So you have to look at that too with Tesla.
I don't know. I really don't want to buy anything. I walk everywhere. I live in a walkable city. Someone mentioned in the chat, like, unless she wants to ride in a nice car, and she does, but she also has a really nice new Range Rover. So we just drive it everywhere. Like I think I like the old beat up pickup truck guy. Anyways, I digress. Kind of a lot to get into this morning, Steve.
Yeah, we do.
Although I appreciate Keep Fishing. Always great to see you out there. You've been missed. Been busy and first time checking in ages. He said he needed some comfort listening this morning. Hopefully we're able to provide that comfort. But he also said we should rename the space. Class A is in session. I do agree. If we weren't past that was the move in the cold open, was Class A in session. Well played, sir. Yeah,
I dropped the ball. That's usually the type of thing I'm on top of. I'm pretty good at those quick. Von Front and I sometimes go back and forth with our quick bunch who gets in the game. On on those.
How does some rapid fire random stuff? California apparently just passed a law allowing the state to custody crypto assets under new laws. Fourth largest economy in the world now, officially recognizing crypto as property can hold. Not a Bitcoin reserve yet, but a step towards it.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, it's definitely good. Like that's the thing. It's like we have all these tailwinds. So what the hell is going on with all that? But man, I don't know, man. I mentioned it this morning. I pinned this to the top. One of the reasons why I'm sort of numb to this stuff and feel even better about it, I think being over invested at times or being too far down one way or the other doesn't always end well. And like I've really set my strategy aside. I mean, we'll get into the OpenSea boxes, but I put this up this morning. I'll kind of share it. It was like my move is like or zoom it in so people on the stream can see it. I got $837 in WETH on my OpenSea box. I don't know if that's plus or negative EV. My guess is negative, but I also made profits on NFT trades during that time. I did swaps I was going to do anyway, so I wasn't like hurt by that. So we'll talk about that and strategies that we went through in a little bit there. But I took like 250 of it, put it into a WETH vault on Katana, took 250 of it, put in USDC vault. I've been collecting my Katana rewards, which eventually unlock at TGE, slowly earning percentages against that. Cashing out 300 for taxes and calling it a day. And it's really, really boring, but I think it's pertinent to bring up in this time for this reason. I have a decent amount of money stable vaulted right now. I am earning a decent amount of yield on that. Some of it may get deployed and pulled out and put to work, but like, because I have money in ETH, in Bitcoin, in USDC, and SOL, and all the things that's vaulted and earning yield, it's not really terribly different than when I'm buying S&P 500 index funds and they just reinvest the dividends until I continue, until the market goes back up. And I go ahead.
Sorry, finish your thought.
I was going to say it's a boring strategy, but it's like one of the reasons I feel numb to these things is I'm not opening 50x longs that I get liquidated on when the market tanks. I'm
fun though.
Yeah, I mean it is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like I love.
And also full transparency. I talked a couple times about the little ApeCoin long I opened. I closed it the other day, feeling I just didn't feel good going to bed with it open. It was teetering close to liquidation levels. I reopened it yesterday at the bottom, but it had a lower liquidation level, and I haven't got wiped yet. So we ride. There might be Peterson asked in the chat, do you guys have any preferred apps to buy crypto with minimal fees, trying to DCA and buy dips, buy these dips? His bone to pick was on ramps like Coinbase and insane fees. Tried buying 2 ETH and the fee was like $150. Coinbase One is $2.99 a month for no fees. I'm on the $20 or $30 a month plan, and I can buy up to 10K a month with no fees, which would cover your 2 ETH. Frankly, that's all. I just use Coinbase, the regular Coinbase one, and it's fine. Like some months I'll go over and pay a little bit in fees, but it's not. I'm not on ramping that much. So usually the Coinbase One entry level plan works for me. But I saw that. Yeah, you said you're already about 10K prior. Yeah, then you're probably gonna have to eat the fees. I don't. As anyone else has. I mean, I guess. Like Gemini, and I'm not well versed on those, but
I'm not, because I'm just not. I mean, unfortunately, I am not in a position to probably be buying 10K of anything on any given time. Given I just talked about $500 I'm putting into vaults, so not my spot, but I'm sure there is. And to me, it's like that was like and I'm not like laughing at it. Like obviously, if you're moving money around, that's awesome, but like. Coinbase works for me for like what my financial situation is, but I could probably see there's probably some other things if people in the chat or otherwise have better ones. Let us know.
Well, I may can't believe I'm about to say this, and this is probably I should not do this, but I may crack open some cold storage and move on ramp to Coinbase, because I don't know if we've ever seen an offer quite like this. I didn't know. I just discovered it because I went there to go check the fee schedule. This is pretty insane. Now, there's probably criteria, there's probably maximums, there's probably a catch. If there's no catch, this is a free money glitch.
Yeah.
5% Bitcoin bonus when you just by putting crypto on their platform, like that's a pretty aggressive vampire attack. So you're telling me I could move a Bitcoin over and I get an extra $5,000 worth of Bitcoin?
Well, 5%, like, what's it up to?
It'll be 100K by the end of the day. I'm kidding. It's a joke, but maybe not.
There's got to be, to your point, it's got to be like up to 10,000, which gets you $500 in Bitcoin or something, right? Or like, but like, still, it's like free money. Like, I don't turn down free money. I don't kick free money out of bed. It's good. I don't. But I'm sure it's got certain stipulations around it for sure.
I'm trying to find a disclaimer. I'm not seeing, but there we go. See terms. Click the button, Chris.
If they're big terms, copy and paste them into ChatGPT, and it'll tell you real quick.
Okay, so here's the catch. I don't think I can share this screen. It popped up. Yeah, I can actually. Here's the catch. So the offer period is September 29th through October 24th. So it's been going for a while. I just saw the pop up. All earned and eligible bonus payouts we made over 24 monthly payments. That's the catch. With the first potential payout beginning around November, final payout October of 2027. Bonus payouts will occur within 40 hours of the first of each month. So
there's got to be a limit on the number.
UK getting screwed again. US, Canada, and Germany. Existing Coinbase users will be presented a limited time opportunity to purchase, transfer assets to Coinbase to receive a bonus paid in BTC. Predetermined, you had to be a subscriber, Coinbase One. If you're non-Coinbase One, you can still get 2%. If you subscribe to Coinbase One on, it's what you have to be subscribed to Coinbase One on October 24th. And if you pause, the bonus will be reduced to 2%. So basically, it's their way to not only get you to put more money on their platform, but also keep your Coinbase One subscription. Smart. It's good. It's good. It's a good. It's a good hook. They got me. I'm probably not going to move a ton over, but I will. They got me thinking. Like, yeah.
I was told yesterday that this type of promotion is not good. Remember, they said that this has got the lowest quality people that it brings in. Remember when we saw that? Everybody knows that is what someone said about. I don't even remember what we were talking about at that point. But do you remember that comment? Mm-hmm. It's like someone's like, everybody knows the lowest quality leads come from
even refunds or buybacks of the Coinbase One debit card are eligible. This is, I mean, again, it's over two years, but 5% to, I mean, people will transfer their credit card balances for 5%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's it's interesting. I need to look more into that today because I've been actually thinking about moving money over to Coinbase because
especially if someone like Toot's trying to buy a dip today, we'll go buy it on Coinbase. I mean, literally, there's your $150 back. You're going to make that back in fees and then some.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah, you go buy $10,000. That's $500. Am I math right? $500, right? Yeah, go buy $10,000. You're getting $500 divided by 24 months. So, I mean, not going to get it all back right away, but keep that subscription. You'll get $20 of your $20 of your $150 back on November 1st.
Yeah.
So the next 7-8 months, you'll get that $150 in fees back. It's not great, but it helps. It helps a little bit. So we got bloody market. Do we want to do a market update and just get that out of the way and then roll into, like, we're definitely going to talk OpenSea Farm. Give us some love on the space. Let's get this thing warmed up. So we have Adam on the stage. I missed that. GM, sir, always a pleasure. You want to kick the mic to Adam real quick and welcome him, see how he's doing, and then we'll do market update.
Yeah, Adam, you want to give us some feels this morning? Sitting on your CryptoPunk, which is worth slightly less this morning. GM, sir.
GM, my friends. I hate to be that guy that pops in for the first time in months and immediately gets on stage like, everybody listen to me.
You're welcome.
But as we're talking about the market, just thought I'd give a little bit of my own perspective. Maybe it's hopium, maybe it's not. I guess we'll find out soon enough. But I think, obviously it's hard to see number go down every day. Steve, you're quite right. I don't like thinking about what my punk was worth a week and a half ago. Obviously, a lot less now. But when I try to look at the market as objectively as possible, which is not easy, we know that more rate cuts are coming. We know that Bitcoin tends to follow gold. Gaming Chen had a good tweet the other day about kind of roughly, not always, but it tends to follow gold by about 90 days. Gold looks like, it keeps ripping, but I think it's looking overstretched. So, if the next couple of weeks we start to see a slowdown, that should allow for a Bitcoin catch up in the next little while. We know that fear and greed is really at an extreme, like, multi-month lows right now. A bunch of leverage has been wiped out of the system. And the other thing, and I know, you were talking a little bit about Trump and China and all of that. As this sort of trade Cold War, whatever it is right now, goes on, China knows, first of all, that Trump stakes his reputation on the stock market, and that the Trump family is heavy into crypto. They've been bragging about it, right? We know this. We also know that foreign ownership of U.S. assets is at all-time highs, and that China owns a lot of Bitcoin. So they are in a position that they can be manipulating the prices of those things as much as they want to basically take the screws to Trump until he capitulates. And he probably will, because that's usually what happens. And, so I do think that could certainly be a factor here, because the conditions are ripe for a Bitcoin run, right? What I keep coming back to is the situation doesn't make sense. Like, it's a risk-on environment. Risk assets are pumping. Crypto looks terrible. Like, it doesn't add up. It's not consistent with what's happened before. We know that Bitcoin OG wallets have been selling a bunch. It's something like 250,000 Bitcoin or whatever in the last little while. There was a chart going around on Twitter. So a lot of Bitcoin OGs, probably a lot of them that are continuing to believe in the 4-year cycle, are selling now because they think we've topped, and maybe they're right. So I think that, coupled with the China action, it feels like I said, I just think this market doesn't make sense, which means either A, the structure that we're used to has broken down, different things are now driving Bitcoin than what it used to, or B, we're just getting impatient, and if we zoom out, it'll be fine. So I'm hoping it's B. If it's A, then I'm going down with the ship with all of you. So that's all I got.
I like the take. I don't know.
We went from CZ versus SBF. We went from crypto billionaire war games to now nation state war games on our crypto coin, Steve. Doesn't feel great, but yeah. I said it the other day. I don't know how much. We're not getting a huge political rant. I said the other day, like, my concern actually is growing if Dems ever get back in office in the U.S., that the whole Trump family, adding $1 billion to their family net worth in crypto, I think the war on crypto 2.0 is in range again. Just because,
yeah. It's a scary thought, and it's a scary thought that we could end up back there, depending on how far the genie gets out of the bottle. But I don't know. I think Adam's got some fair points. By the way, talking about a good trade, if you want a trade that's up 50%, that I gave everybody on Wednesday on the stream, we're up 50% on our money right now. 6% chance U.S. confirms aliens exist now. I got it at 4, so I'm just saying.
Greater chance, and Polymarket's running over a 90% accuracy rate. Pretty insane. And they're now saying it's a greater chance that we get an alien confirmation, alien invasion or alien visit, more so than 200K Bitcoin this year.
Also, greater chance. I thought it was funny when people were like, bigger chance when it was like at 2%, it was like bigger chance they say that the aliens exist, they confirm aliens exist, than AOC winning the presidency or something. Like we're comparing some Polymarket numbers, but yeah, we are at 6.4%, so more than the 50% return on your money. 3i Atlas hasn't even come by yet. The documentary that says that aliens are walking among us hasn't even come out yet. in November that's coming. So we might have some more upside on that trade. I'm just gonna have to make sure I time to hop on that one well. But yeah, man, markets. Let's do a daily market update. We'll show people where we're at. I actually need to mobile stream drop, so I will do that while you do a daily market update, and then we can go from there. We can talk a little OpenSea boxes, and see how it goes.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8 chain, we bringing the heat. NFT trends alpha, never miss a beat. 8 chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time and chop pump for one time.
It's time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs, the home of Project Raid, bringing ApeCoin all over the blockchain. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain's on top. Cap.
Not the best looking charts this morning. Here's hoping. Man, Fridays have been absolutely brutal. I think Mayhem had it right. He called this at the beginning of the month. Said this was actually September 30th. He said beginning of October will be red. By the middle to end, it will rebound. We're getting to that middle to end now, and only October that was straight up was 2021. Every year besides that is basically played out like this. So for Mayhem, we are still waiting for the second half of October to actually be Uptober. We need it because Bitcoin's down 5% on the day to 105,865. Mando's coming close to losing 100K in his bet with Keyboard Monkey. If you missed it, it was Mando has Bitcoin hitting 120 before it hits 100. Keyboard Monkey on the 100K side. They got 100K on the line as well as a Myriad market. Myriad market. I didn't think about that. I don't know if I'd like market being in their name. They need to drop market, just be Myriad. Anyways, I digress. ETH down 7% to 37.86. XRP down 6% to 228. Solana down 7% to 181. I feel like yesterday it was like 240. Doge down 8% to 18 cents. And Cardano down 9%. I'm going to lose, forget the 80 cent peg. It's going to lose 60 cent peg here in a second. Things are really, really bloody. We talk, those are our majors. Runes are down double digits. Memes are down double digits. Pump down 11%. Pingu down 11%. Pepe down 9%. Meme Core down 1. Sheeb down 7. Doge down 8. It is, I said it yesterday. Same thing holds today. It's not great. It is down on the day, but ApeCoin down 7% is holding with not as down as some of these other alts are. But it's just you got to struggle to find something green. These top movers, I guess decent market caps. I don't know what a single one of them is, but like Steve's point, there is money to be made. Equities are down. We'll see how the market opens there here in about 45 minutes. Looking at NFTs, Dino Gotchas, a new one here, up just minute out. I think this might have been a free mint, up to 0.02.
It was Crocs was calling those. I mean, Crocs
called it in a minute, right? Yeah.
Crocs calls like some of the most hilarious mints that do end up working out, like where he'll just be like pushing something in the worm. I'm like, what is this nonsense, Crocs? And then like they mint, and then they end up he ends up getting a nice 2 or 3x on that, and he puts it into a nice meme coin and rides it down, which is why we love him. Or he takes out another loan, and then Zane gives him the burb gift that's yelling at him. And but no, like this was one that like was called in the war room, and we all missed it. And it's it would have been a chance to make a little money in a down day and kind of DCA your way into some more cash. So
you know what else? If you haven't, I had some trouble getting my assets recognized to get in. I was going to be manually added. I think I need to go back and do it. But that Telegram sticker pack, I believe, is still live through the rest of the day today. It's like a $500 flip. So if you, it's worth going, but you can buy it for 1 ton and you can sell it for 200 ton. Free money for holding an ape or mutant. So go do that, you ape holders. Baron Von Hustle helped me out, get my stuff. We just wasn't recognizing my delegate to verify my assets. Anyways, back to the chart here. Speaking of apes, the big winners only down 0.76% on the day to 7.76 ETH. Pudgy's down 3.49% to 7.46. DX Terminal, the OpenSeas, people still farming OpenSea. Burbs down 7.29% to 286. Good Vibes Club down 6% to 0.72. Little Pudgy's down 7.9% to 8.84. Milady's down to 1.5 ETH. And Canday, I don't know. I'm assuming another free mint, doing a lot of volume, also up as well. Mutant's down 8%. There's your free money trade of the week. We're 1 week out from Ape Fest. I am biased. I did finally book tickets though, so I will be in Ape Fest. It's now confirmed. They're kind of crushing it right now. People are distracted by the market and OpenSea farms, but the Daveco team has been humming. Big fan of what Simple Farmer and the team have been doing with all these, the Ape Chain raid or ApeCoin raid and getting Ape on Hyperliquid and Solana and Binance and those promos. They're throwing a lot of free money at that for those that are participating, and step up. Like we were, give them credit where credit's due. We had talked, last year when last couple years it's been from like blowout performers, A-list or A-tier entertainers to DJ Soda in Hong Kong to French Montana in Lisbon, to where this year not only the Complex Con tickets for Saturday and Sunday, but Friday's lineup is a banger. Like even if it's not your in your play,
I mean, I can appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Like Clips is a big deal. Like with the kids, like it's hot. Like the new album is a banger. I was familiar with Clips, Pusha T, obviously, but I hadn't been listening to the new album. Listened through to it last night today, and it's pretty fire. Pretty good gets, I feel, for Ape Fest this year. Feels like I'm not expecting him to ever do like an Ape Fest 2 type lineup again, but this is not knocking French Montana, but this is definitely a step up. If you missed it, the performers and I also noticed they extended it 2 hours, so now it's a 6-hour Ape Fest. I don't know if you saw that, but it's Big Boy, one half of one half of Outcast, Clips, which is I need someone to give me the full story here, because OGs, they've been around for a while. They just came back, dropped this new album, and the new album is taking off. But I don't know. There was like Crocs and Zayn. The Zoomers were really fired up about it, Steve. And I don't know. I don't know like what the whole story is. I don't know what the lore with the comeback is. So I'd be curious to dive a little bit deeper there. Kodak Black is huge. Blau is, I shared in the War Room. I've shared the story about Minnie, my second and third ape. My dog woke me up at like 4 a.m, took him outside. I admitted my first ape. Like, I'm going to watch this for a couple weeks, see, it might been another one or two. And dog woke me up at 4 a.m, opened up the Discord, complete pandemonium. There was 3 individuals that I saw were minting this that inspired me to wipe out the rest of the ETH liquid I had in my MetaMask wallet at the time. It was Pranksy, it was Jimmy, and Blau was the third. And I saw, wow, this Discord is popping off. There's some movers and shakers. Blau was one of the earlier artists to embrace NFTs. I actually had his Faces NFT that I minted on Nifty Gateway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not although I will say I was really hoping we'd get Fred again. I've become a big Fred again fan, and the rest of the list is fine, but I would love to see a Fred again, just because how he's doing his album release. But yeah, good gets. Big Boy, Clips, Kodak Black, Justin Blau, and Rhetoric. So looking forward to Ape Fest. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm not the target audience for that, but I do think it's good, right? Like, it's not my personal but like, I'm excited when other people are excited, because like, if you got the bands that I cared and liked about, they would be laughed off the stage, right? Like, not off the stage, but Bored Ape Yacht Club would get laughed at. So, to me, like, if you're going to pull in like a bunch of 90s and 2000s random bands, or my random music that I listen to in the car, and also I listen to a lot of the shit my kids listen to nowadays anyway. So it's like the Has Been Hotel soundtrack's out, the Life of Showgirl from Taylor Swift's out. My daughter likes that. I actually think it's good. I know most people fudded it. I thought it was a good album. And so I'm listening to a lot of random things that my son and daughter really like. And so I'm less, and I also don't listen to a ton of music anymore. If I'm being honest, like the music I listen to I listen to meditation music when I stretch or take my dog for a walk or when I go to Starbucks in the morning. I listen to my running list on the treadmill. And when I run, I listen to some music from the 90s or maybe some pop country when I clean the house. It's about the extent of my music listening. So I'm not tapped into the culture. Seems like it's been doing pretty well for people, so I'm very happy with this. By the way, real quick,
and I think even though you're not tapped in, like you may have not heard Clips' new album, which is their first album in 16 years. Like it's Pusha T. Like there'll be bangers from back in the day that they likely, whether their songs or ones they collaborated on, I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll be a good set.
I'll for sure enjoy it.
Today I learned that Malice and Pusha T were actual real life brothers. I did not know that. Clips it's Pusha T and Malice, who are actual brothers. I didn't know till just now that they're actual brothers.
Yeah, this is like when Birdman being Lil Wayne's dad, and then I found out it's just like he's his adopted dad or something. I don't know. It was like, that was like the big thing. I'm like, wait, it's his dad, and then you looked it up, and they're somehow that aren't actually related, but it's like I don't know if it's like maybe his adopted dad or maybe just in name or something and recognized that way. But yeah, people are excited about Ape Fest, which gets me excited. The other side IRL experience. So like, look. Credit where credit's due. We're asking questions. We'll see how we're feeling after Ape Fest. Lineup for Ape Fest feels like they actually got back to putting some really culturally relevant bands in there, which is good. Extended the time on that. They said they have announcements coming. We've heard rumors about announcements. We'll see what happens. The IRL Other Side experience is for the nerds. There are events going on.
Clubhouse at this point.
What's up?
There's too much anticipation over a Clubhouse announcement. I think they have to announce it at this point.
Did I say IRL Clubhouse? I meant IRL Other Side. I don't know. My brain might have slipped, but yeah.
I mean, and if you go back to that image, it's a freaking Clubhouse. I'll stop cussing. Sorry, I know it's hurting our YouTube. It is the picture's a Clubhouse with the lineup. So yeah, I'm pretty certain they're going to give us more details, at least a timeline on what we could expect for the Clubhouse.
Yeah. I would say one more thing before we get into OpenSea other stuff, because I know we got the back half of the hour to talk about that. I'm going to do one more cold open thing I meant to tell you this morning because I thought you'd get a kick out of this. It's much darker here in the morning now, being winter. Every morning, pretty much, I spend way too much money on Starbucks. I get a black coffee for myself with a cold piece of ice to cool it down. My tongue is very sensitive. I don't understand why people burn their fucking face on hot coffee. And then I get my wife like a caramel macchiato or a latte or something. This morning I wake up, make the order, get dressed, get to Starbucks, get out of the car at Starbucks for my pickup order. So I'm not going through the drive-through. My pants are on inside out.
Yeah.
My sweatpants, like floppy pockets on completely inside out. I go to put my phone in my pocket and I'm like, well, shit. And I'm like, you know what, though? There's only like 2 or 3 people. Now, here's the problem. To give you reference for this Starbucks, when I walk in, they say, good morning, Steve, because my thing's under Steve. Went there the other day because in the afternoon I sometimes get a cold brew. Had somebody say to me, aren't you supposed to be coming through the drive-through? Because that's usually when I go through there. So that's how recognizable I am in this Starbucks, how often I go there. It's great Starbucks. Have a nice day, Steve. Like one time I walked in and one of my drinks was done and they looked at me and they go, oh, hey, Steve, let me work on your other one right now. I know you got 2 in. So now that you walked in, like they know, like if I go in and they see me in, they know what my order is and they'll be like, oh, let's get Steve's done real quick and get it to him. So like it's got there. One day I want to if I ever get, if I get a $77,000 airdrop from Monad, I want to go tip them like $1,000 or something. Like I'd love to do something like that one day. Just go in and be like, surprise, motherfuckers, and not even know it's me. I just want to do it randomly.
In all seriousness, someone said this recently. I don't know who it was, but if you have a big win, you should get back immediately. Not weeks, not months later, because you'll become attached to that new the new capital, the new money in your bank account, the new buffer, additional funds in your net worth. Like, it doesn't have to be 10%, but do something nice. It'll make you feel better. And I'm a big believer in karma like that. But don't do good expecting something in return, though. Actually, from the bottom of your heart, like, if you're fortunate, you had a big win, help someone who's less fortunate.
I mean, I just like those people. But anyway, long story short, really quick. Sorry, I got off track there a little bit because I think it's a really good take cap. But so with my inside out pants. I'm like gripping my pockets to try to hide them under my sweatshirt, even though my back pockets are flopped out too, because I have backward sweatpants on inside out. And I walk in, and normally there's like the same 3 workers in there at any given time at like, 6 a.m. There must have been 1,000 people working this morning at Starbucks. Like the entire staff was all hands on deck for whatever reason. So I just walk in with my inside out pants, pretend like I don't have inside out pants, grab my drink real quick, and just usher out in shame. So fun little morning that happened. But let's do this. Who has not done Death Fund yet? Cap and I are going to win somebody some money this morning. A little bit less based on the price of ETH, but who has not done Death Fund yet? Let's look at the list. I feel like Jambert, who is active in the chat, has not. I feel like we got to get a Jambert going. And Jambert's our good luck guy. Jambert won $900 from BZ. Thomas, I'm already gonna do. Maybe we'll do 2. Maybe we'll do Thomas and Jambert. We'll see. Do you want to do 2? Do you want to do Thomas and Jambert this morning?
Yeah, sounds good. And Jambert also complimented the good vibe shirt. I told him I would stand up and turn around, so I'm gonna make sure you can see the full thing.
It's such a good shirt. Whoa, that was a little bit of a twerk there, Cap did.
Can you see that?
Cap, a surprisingly good dancer, as we talked about in the war room yesterday, specifically to him. I didn't say that. There's a whole conversation around that where I almost was like, Am I getting called out by some of the whitest people in the war room for saying I'm a surprisingly good dancer for being white? And I got Dort and some other folks on there calling it out, just saying, like, I am perfectly average at just about everything. So I just happen to be okay to be like perfectly average at that stuff where I don't embarrass myself. I have good rhythm, actually, all things considered. The Dort dropping it this morning. I will tell you what, I will go toe to toe with anybody for being the most average 40-year-old white dude on the face of the planet at everything.
I do not have good rhythm. I'm not a good dancer. I actually am probably going to take dancing. Like, I can dance, but not like proper dancing. I think I'm going to take some ballroom dancing classes. We got a wedding going to in January, and I'd just like to,
if you want the alpha on how you're going to get to be a better like overall dancer, ballroom is going to get you some. Hip hop dance classes are really, really valuable. I might get my kids in some hip hop dance classes because my son is actually great.
It's like I started this. I think I shared this a spin class, like in real life, a personal, like not Peloton, but actually going to a class. It was packed, a lot of people, and like I got a good ride in. But man, like Peloton's not like much choreography. Like you're not like dancing and moving around and stuff. This one was. It was like full of movement and I was like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like I was.
You look like you were covered in fire ants.
I was buffering. Yeah, I was like on ETH back in pre the merge, and I was like 7 seconds behind everyone else. I get it done. I would just,
on AOL back in the day. It's just like
they would do the move, and then they'd be on the, and then I would catch up later. Like it was bad. Afterwards, like, oh, you did great today. Like, cause I've well over 1,000 rides, right? Like I have a couple months. I put in 500 miles a month, so I'm a decent, and you may laugh, like, what the hell is hard riding a bike? Spinning's different. Like, it really is. Like, if you've never done it before and you hop on the first time, you're probably going to feel a little awkward. It's different. I don't know how to describe it, but it's muscle memory. I've done, like, spinning itself, I'm good at, but spinning and dancing at the same time I look about as white as I actually do. Yeah.
I just picture you just like so sad they're doing so much dancing, like the crying dancing girl, the classic.
Yeah, not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'd rather just be spinning but I'm going to go do more because it's also something that I'm not good at. It makes me uncomfortable. And it's rare that I'm uncomfortable in like, athletic type settings. And so I'm going to do it because it is an easy way to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Now Von Frunten, who's even whiter than me, is calling me out in the war room. So it's just, this is like people without rhythm having crime on people with moderate rhythm. So I would put up, like, if everybody who was, if Crocs, Von Frunten, Dort, Zane will make you an honorary white. If you guys want to take me on, Cap, anybody who's calling this out, if we want to set up in like early next year, you guys can do anything you want to prepare. We get a independent judge who understands dance, and we each can prepare a 1-minute dance. I will put money on the line against. I will put money on the line just like fantasy if you guys want to. If you guys want to call that out.
We've been talking like our abstract tips. Thank you, by the way, for the 69 Pingu. Maybe this is it. Maybe we just need to start streaming, not in a hot tub, but streaming dance offs.
Yeah, it's I will take Von Front and you want to go? We'll do our thing. But no, look, I mean, I'm a it's like, you know what it is? It's like, here's how I would describe it. I'm a serviceable basketball player on a court or football player in a game. I'm a serviceable dancer at a wedding. I'll go on the floor. I'll do a couple moves. I've seen people copying me on a dance floor before, mind you, with my white boy 4 to 5 moves. So it's not like, like when you might start doing something, you look over, you're like, that guy's doing what I'm doing. That means that anyway. So
I think that's the hack. And that's all I want. I just need 4 or 5 moves so I can pull off at a wedding to where people think I know how to dance. And I don't. I can memorize things. It's like how I got good in school. I got straight A's, not because I knew all the content or the information. I was just really good at cramming. I'd pop an Adderall and go to the library for 8 hours before a final. And I didn't go to a single class or a single lecture the entire quarter. And I'd ace the final because it's just memorization. It's all school tested for. And I feel like dancing is, if you get a few that don't require crazy rhythm, just memorize a few moves and you can fake it till you make it.
I mean, the truth of it, honestly, it's not like I mean, if anybody practices it, the truth of it is most songs are done in a 4/4 rhythm. So you just need to do things on counts of 4. If you literally move 1, 2, 3, 4 with anything, it looks like you semi know what you're doing. That's all you need to do. Doesn't matter what you do with your arms, what you do with your legs. People are just flailing up, feeling it. If you just do like 1, 2, 3, 4 with anything, it looks like you're snappy because you're hitting it at the same time as the beat, and it's an illusion that you're actually a good dancer. The Doomers, you're invited too. But anyway, we'll let's do our death fun runs. I think we're doing 2 people today. So we're doing Jambert and Thomas. So I'm going to pull up my death fun and I'm going to pin to the top. I know it's somewhere on my timeline. So before we get this thing going, I will pin to the top somewhere on my timeline. I think I retweeted my own tweet yesterday, so I had it for reference. Pin it to the top of the space. And we'll see. I'm going to check some refs real quick before I share screen to see how we're doing on it. So yeah, haven't any new refs since yesterday. So again, if you're looking to potentially earn $1,000 or win $1,000, that's fun. If you click on the link on the top of the space and you do $20 in gameplay through our ref link, you are entered to win $1,000. You wanna do it? Again, you can do 1 click on 1 tile. You don't get the red thing, you cash out, or you can play a little more. Totally your call. But you go on the top and click our ref link in the top of the space. You can earn yourself $20 or you spending $20, you can earn yourself potentially win $1,000 courtesy of our friends at Death Fund. But we're gonna do the Jambert run first. Cap, I'm gonna do one. You're going to do one, and then we are going to maybe we'll see if Jambert wants to participate in one. Jambert and Thomas, let us know in the chat if you want to participate or if you just want us to go for you. Because if you want to participate, it's always fun. So we'll do that too. But I'm gonna start with Jambert, and I'm gonna go. Right we are in a bear market. Market's down horrendously. First click on Death Fund, and we get absolutely.
Jambert's even saying no rights. So we let him down there. We got to go left. We got to go all the way left.
Oh, I missed it. No rights. All right, so we owe Jambert a good one. We're gonna go left. Should we just chat? Do you want to stay left? You what?
3. This is more depressing than the market.
This is more depressing than the market. I'm gonna rip him one this time though. We're gonna get Jambert something. Jambert won $900 on a BZ card. So good news is we could feel still okay about this one in particular.
Here we go.
Jambert, we got nothing. Maybe in the future we'll get you something here. We can't in this market, in this economy. We're still on a 0. Hopefully we can get you running on it in the future. But we got Jambert down horrendously. So we're gonna do Jambert. We're gonna get Thomas running here. So Thomas, we're gonna get a run for Thomas. So I'm gonna do a Thomas run. You'll do a Thomas run. Hopefully Thomas can cash out. I think Jambert and Thomas are a handshake emoji. They're 2 of the more active ones in the chat. So I think Jambert will feel good if Thomas cashes well. So we'll get Thomas. I mean, our runs this morning, this is bear market shit right here, Cap. I'm getting worried. All right, you hit this run.
Left. Right. Left.
All right, we're cashing. I'm just cashing. I'm not even gonna let you keep going. I'm gonna cash.
0.022 was $100 last week. Now it's like $37, but we'll take it.
We're gonna cash Thomas right now so that Thomas wins this money, and then we are going to swing around and try to do a God run for him. Thomas, do you want to participate, or do you want us to do this God run for you? We'll wait about 15 seconds for you to go. I think Joey's coming up here because Joey. I'm guessing. Here's my guess for Joey. Joey was actually an amateur dance instructor for 4 years in Transylvania at one point as one of his random odd jobs, and is actually knows the art of drunken monkey kung fu dancing as well as hip hop dancing, as his wife was an instructor prior as well, and that's how they met in Brazil during a dance competition. There's something like this here.
Joey's like the everyday man's Tim Ferriss.
Yeah. So Thomas, we'll run the first 4 for you, and then we'll run the first few for you if you want to get in. Pressure's too high, just go for it for me. Okay, Thomas wants to run, but Joey Val's, go ahead and get in here before we do Thomas's attempted God run.
No, I came up because I swept some BZ OpenSea NFT vouchers, and I want to send you one so you can give it to somebody. We can do a poll of the OpenSea claw for somebody today.
Oh, so you want me to do a poll of the OpenSea claw for somebody in the chat today? I like this. Here's what we're gonna do on that.
I need you to send me your BZ wallet so I can send you this this voucher so it'll let you play the OpenSea claw.
Joey Valls, how are you as a dancer?
I'm pretty solid. I took some dance when I was younger. Hit the club scene and the festival scene. So I'm pretty solid. I used to swing dance and a couple other things, but I'm no professional. I think I could survive on Dancing with the Stars, actually.
I believe it. You're a athletic dude. I sent you my wallet, my BZ wallet, so you have it handy so you can send that through. I'm going to do a poll for Jambert again because Jambert's good luck in BZ, and we got him 0 on Death Fund this morning. So we're going to do a poll for Jambert for sure to get him going. But I'm going to do the Thomas run here. Thomas said I already doubled my OpenSea chest with the $60 win. Nice, well played. All right, let's get this thing running. All right, so we're going to do we're going to try for a big Thomas win here. Who has already doubled the OpenSea chest. Then we'll do a BZ claw poll for our guy Jambert. So Joey's going to send me that voucher. I love that. We're doing that. All right, boom, boom, boom. All right, this is bad morning, bad vibes. I'm gonna await the Joey claw pull from BZ. And we'll see when the voucher arrives. Let me know when you've sent it, Joey, so I have it running. But
I just sent it.
All right, he just sent it, so it is probably going over the internets. We are going to pull something. I'm gonna make sure I have it real quick. So for people who missed this, I actually think this is very cool.
You will only be able to, I don't know if you'll be able to see I don't think you can see the voucher in your BZ wallet, like your BZ on the BZ website. You will be able to see it on OpenSea. But when you connect to the claw, it'll tell you have one.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I know like there's going to be a lot of talk about OpenSea. There's multiple categories to discuss, and I think anybody can agree stuff like this is cool. They have been participating in the culture. They have been participating with the builders. They have been building things, building a custom skin claw machine and just being like, let's do some really cool stuff is awesome. Got those BZ vouchers for people who have the opportunity to get a big pull. And our guy Jambert is going to have an opportunity to get a big pull courtesy of BZ. But I think this is cool. Shout out to OpenSea for doing the OpenSea Explorer with BZ. I like the TCG 50. I played that yesterday and pulled a $108 card on a $50 pull. And the multi-category is pretty cool. I pulled some Sean Witherspoon's shoes. Sean Witherspoon doing some stuff with A-Fest. So
I just pulled a Labubu out of the OpenSea Explorer.
Hey.
Oh man, that would be a good part.
But the OpenSea, so for those that are curious, there about a quarter of the vouchers have already been redeemed. So there's 2,000 items in the machine, about 500 of them, or no, 50, 2,000. What's a quarter of 2,000? 500. About 500 have been pulled. When the machine launched with the 2,000 items, the average item value was $50, and there's items worth all the way up over $1,000. Like I really wanted that Babe Ruth Kaboom card.
There is a PSA 9 Babe Ruth card. There is a PSA 9 Babe Ruth card in the OpenSea claw machine right now.
And there's a vintage Charizard right next to it.
Find yourself a go to a sports fan and to ask them which one of those is worth more. They'll have no idea.
And then and I know there's a lot of questions. So there are no swap values on these. They are straight price. Like you get the item. So you could either keep the item, right? Or you can list it on the marketplace, or you could redeem it globally. So wherever you live, don't worry, you could redeem it and you can have the actual item if you don't want to keep keep it on the platform or list it on the marketplace. And then obviously there's all the vouchers are NFTs. So you can go right now. If you're a fan of collectibles and RWAs, I think the floor price right now on purchasing more vouchers is about 120 flow, which is like $40 roughly. So if you wanted to take your chances and go sweep some vouchers off the floor because you are into collectibles, you can for less than what is the average value of the items in the claw.
Cap, I might sweep some vouchers to play the game a little bit. I may mess around on that this morning after we wrap because although we're gonna take our goal is going to be to take one of these high value items off the table right now. We got the Green Ninja, which is valued at $1,300+, the Charizard, which is valued at over $1,100, and the Babe Ruth card, which is valued at about $1,000. Going to try to get one of those off the table for our guy Jambert right now. He didn't win money in Death Fund. Jambert is a previous BZ winner of a $900 card. He did get the swap value on that and cash it out. We're going to hope to pull him something right now, make his day via OpenSea and BZ. So let's
before you play, do me a favor, just because the OpenSea machine's been a little janky, sign out of your BZ and sign back in.
All right, I will do that real quick.
It's just there. It's like with the whole burn of the NFT has to get burned and so I had to sign out and sign back in just to make sure. So just do that for me real quick, so there's no issue.
All right, doing it right now. Getting myself signed out and signed back in. And if we don't do it today, we'll definitely do it tomorrow. But we'll get this sucker loaded up. I am again this is the stuff. I'm just gonna say this is the stuff that's cool to me. This is why I think people are looking at it as money and value and farming and all these other things. Doing a skinned machine with a real builder in the space like BZ, loading it up, giving people this as rewards and the chance to really play the lotto, I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to run this BZ machine for Jambert. We're going to try to get him a high value item. As mentioned, Jambert is a big winner before. $900 card, pulled a $900 Pokemon card out of the TCG 50, swapped it right there for the value, and got some cash in pocket. So whatever I pull today, Jambert, you are going to DM me your BZ account. Send me the link to your BZ account, and I will send it to you. I'm probably going to send that along with our Death Fund money for the past week out today, so hopefully get it out there. So let's go pull a Babe Ruth for our guy Jambert. Here we go. Boys and girls, chipmunks and squirrels, we are going to pull a big pull for our guy Jambert this morning. Man, that Babe Ruth looks good. We're going to hopefully get a big one. No matter what, it's plus EV, though. It's a free pull courtesy of BZ and our friends over at OpenSea. It gets pulled, and hey, $25 Labubu. The Monsters pin for love. Not too bad, Jambert. We'll get that your way. Go ahead and DM me your BZ account. I will send it to you. You can redeem it or you can sell it. My daughter would be jealous. She is loving the Labubu. So like seeing the Labubus. I am probably going to sweep. I got to go find. But Joey, will you DM me back on Discord the link to those BZ claws? To buy on OpenSea on secondary, I'd love to get one. So fire that off to me when you get a chance.
Speaking of Labubus, real quick, off ramp, on ramp, quick digression from our regularly scheduled programming, then we will get into this OpenSea chest discussion. But the guy did it again. It's actually quite impressive. It's not like my style of content.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Go ahead. I know where you're going.
Guy gets I kid you not, my X reels were going this morning. And there was some videos, some guy who's I don't even know, he's a content creator, like a political content
The
creator.
Jack American flag guy who was like
Yeah.
pointing to the screen, like,
Yeah,
look,
and like
look at this one.
did
That's
multiple
funny.
videos on this. Did multiple videos dunking on Nick, not realizing it's a whole thing's a fucking parody. Like he's doing it for the like he's not like his bit is like a crypto douchebag. That's not him. Like if you ever met Nick, he's a normal guy. It's just he plays the bit really, really well. And this is a shit post. This is an engagement farm, and it works. 16 million views on this. And if you add up all the other impressions of like this guy with the the American flag, like the guy probably hit 100 million impressions off of a shit post and got half the internet like in an uproar over him, like dunking on him, not realizing that the whole reason he's posting this is to get you people to give him eyeballs. Like it's wild, man. Like touche, well played.
I meant to bring that up in cold open material. He absolutely mashed on that one, and there's really not much you can say otherwise. It's like, and like again, it's not my style of content. I couldn't do it. It is rage baiting and being like, haha, got you. Part of it, like part of the reason I actually am more kind of understanding of the content he creates is that he does it in a way that's so obviously meant to be discoverably a joke. Like he puts the prop money in there.
You don't get the joke though.
Right. They think it's like serious and he's like being serious with the prop money or the fake cars or the, like it's just, and those of us who know, I couldn't do it. I can't hold the bit. I just couldn't. But like him using the prop money, like it's not like they couldn't get access to real dollar bills of that value if they wanted to. They're doing just fine in nice Miami houses and could get the cash and just take it out and return it. And they're using the prop money on purpose. And like, so like, you have to tip your cap to them in that sense that they know what they're doing and they're doing it well. It's very much appreciated. Wow, Jambert, man. I actually really do. I just got goosebumps. Jambert just said, Steve, can I gift that Labubu to you? Your kiddo would enjoy it. It's yours. Thanks for the pick. I got goosebumps. That's really kind. I'm going to talk to my daughter when she gets home and let her know that like one of the Coffee with Captain community members gifted this to you. So my daughter, courtesy of OpenSea, BZ, and Jambert, going to be getting that Labubu pin. She's going to be stoked. She's going to be very stoked about it. So thank you, Jambert. I appreciate that. You're very, very kind and means a lot that you did that, knowing that I just kind of made a passing comment about my daughter wanting that, and appreciate this community very, very much. Joey Valls, get in here.
You should have more vouchers showing up in your wallet shortly that you can do with as you wish.
Interesting. So we could do a couple more potential giveaways. Let's do this, Cap. Let's while I'm waiting on getting those in, and we will do a couple more of those. We're gonna give Jambert another poll and put his karma into the universe for sure. But we'll give Jambert one more poll and then we'll figure out we'll see how many vouchers we got. Says I have one claw voucher available. So we'll do that action in a minute here. Let's do that actually real quick. Let's do another poll for Jambert. Good vibes this morning from Joey Vowles, the legend. So we're going to do another poll here for Jambert. So this is a karma poll. Jambert pulled a Labubu pin. If you're just tuning in, Jambert pulled a Labubu pin from a $25 value. And I was going to send it to him. Pulled it fair and square, courtesy of BZ. BZ sponsoring some claw pulls this morning with the OpenSea claw. And I mentioned in passing, my daughter likes Labubus and she'd be jealous. And he responds and says, I'd like to gift it to you because your kiddo would enjoy it. It's yours. I'm going to redeem it. And now we're going to hopefully get a huge pull for Jambert. We're going to do a karma pull right now. But regardless, Jambert, this one is going to be yours. What I should do is we pull a Babe Ruth card. I'm like, man, my daughter's favorite baseball player is Babe Ruth. I'm kidding. Let's see what happens here. Big pull. Let's see it. That's perfect. It's an exactly even value pull for Jambert. So Jambert, you're getting the Labubu Monsters pin. Anyway, go ahead and send me your address and we'll get you that one. Your BZ, send me your BZ account page.
You should have 5 5 more vouchers. So I sent you a total of 6. Like I said, if you want to give more away, if you want to use them for yourself for content purposes, but you should have 5 more in your wallet now.
We'll do a couple fun pulsies for this, and maybe we'll do. I mean, the OpenSea clause open in perpetuity, right? Or at least for now.
Yeah, it won't close. It won't close till all 2,000 items have been redeemed. So technically, you could play the game, right? Like if slowly but surely it goes from 1,500 to 1,000 to 500, and some of those top items are still in there. You're just increasing your odds, which means the voucher prices could go up. Or you just wait to have better odds, but it'll stay open until all 2,000 items have been pulled out of the machine.
Well, I love this. I'll probably do some content with these. I will probably do some more giveaways with these. We got the 4, so maybe I will do like one for me and the fam and see what that goes. Maybe we'll do that and see how it goes. But yeah, Joey Claus coming through big this morning. We'll definitely do more of those, and appreciate you, sir, for dropping these off. And
I got to give a shout out to Andrea too, because she sent me a text message and said make sure we take care of them. So it's a combination of me and Andrea. So
the best, the GOAT. Appreciate y'all. Cap, with that said, we should talk a little bit of OpenSea boxes and OpenSea chest farming / chest opening. I have a take on the timeline, and I think it's probably worth worth discussing, because I know a lot of people are having I'm seeing some actually balanced takes on the timeline. I saw a guy who was saying I think people are wrong who are upset about this. See people being upset of this. I think everyone's allowed to feel exactly how they feel. The reason I want to hand it to you before I give any reaction is I said to a couple people yesterday, and we talked about it. We 3 or 4 times on this show, we brought up the chest. 3 or 4 times you brought up the rewards pool. 3 or 4 times you have brought up the math on the boxes. 3 or 4 times you have said you like plus EV farms. You don't feel it's a plus EV farm. 3 or 4 times you have made this, throughout this entire process, you have brought up the numbers. You said it's not a plus EV farm. You said you don't expect it to go this way. You said they can't please everybody. They don't have enough chase items to please everybody. But, and I would always answer, well, it's a rewards program, and it's got to, it's maybe they're going to juice it up, but if they don't, it's that's what it is. And so I played it very close to the chest as far as how I played it. But what are your thoughts upon seeing that you're not surprised at the reaction? You're not surprised at the market reaction. What are your overall thoughts? Give me all the angles that you look as you approach this morning, beside, along with hey, this is what I thought would happen.
I think it's I think they need to reevaluate. This season's already live. They can't change that. I don't know how many more waves or seasons they have planned. I think they need to really seriously reevaluate and stop doing these seasons until they TGE. I understand what they're doing. I don't think and again, I knew it was negative EV. Thought majority of people were not going to be happy with their chests, and that's what the timeline looks like to me. I haven't seen. There's a few measured takes that are well, this was but I haven't seen anyone oh, this is amazing. I mean, maybe someone won a punk. Most people are pretty pissed off, and I think it's. I'm trying to find the exact take because I want to give proper credit, but I do think it's harming them. I think it's this is a rewards program. It's a raffle. Very few people are going to win big. Most people are going to lose. Just like normal raffles, this one's you're playing a scratch off, but it's got 50% rate, which is not good. So this is not a good farm. It's not intended to be a farm, but it's getting farmed. And I think it's hurting them. I think it's hurting their goodwill. That's the actual one of the takes I was looking for was from our friend Josh, who is an OpenSea fan. He's friends with Adam. I just this is, I think, a good
Josh Ong.
Yeah, I think this is a good gauge on overall market participant sentiment. Josh is a reasonable person. He's not a futter. Titanium chest got me $25 worth of BTC. Glad I didn't farm this. Just bought some stuff I liked. How'd you do? Did you level up? Will you level up your chest for season 2? Honestly, think this treasure chest era is negative goodwill for OpenSea. They're fumbling at the goal line. I agree. I think it's negative goodwill. Like very few people are happy. I'll pull up a few other posts here, but like some people are like downright irate, and it's on them. They chose to farm this. OpenSea didn't put a gun to their head, but it's not helping. And I do think it's having the opposite intended effect of a reward program. I think they'd be better off just scraping it right now. And again, they can't do that in the current season. There's some other actual measured takes. Sorry, this isn't like great scrolling. Sorry if I'm making anyone sick. There's another, Josh, call me crazy, but OpenSea disappointing 99% of their users so that 1% of them win a prize is a lose-lose. Drag sentiment for TGE2. Treasure chests are scratchers with a 50% rake. It's a good take. He's right. It's not OpenSea's fault. It just didn't land. And sometimes, like, you have the best intentions. You can want to do things, good by your people. If it doesn't land, you need to pivot. I really think they need to pivot after this season. I don't think they should continue to do this. I think every time it's going to be a letdown for 99% of the participants. Maybe it's not 99%, but it's probably like 97%. We looked at the EV yesterday. The expected value on these boxes was less than $30.
I think it was 30, yeah, $31. I think is what it was when we did the math.
Anyone who actually farmed it spent way more than $30 in fees. And therefore, most people, like I said, there was like 12 NFTs that were something. Further, I think part of the issue that some of the others, I'll see if I can find them without making everyone sick from scrolling. There was a surprising amount of people. I saw some people that got decent rewards, like $800, $1,000. They're like, oh, this was, got back half of what I paid in fees. But where are my NFTs? Like, there was a lot of people pissed off that they didn't get an NFT. They got some, this token, I don't even do anything on this chain. Well, just sell it. But like, there was a lot of people that were wanting and expecting NFTs. Like, could there be some changes they could make to make more people happy? Sure. Here's another one from Ryan Smith. A total of $74 from a Cobalt chest that only 1% of the people achieved. Not going to lie, this doesn't feel very good. That's just like the overwhelming consensus on sentiment of this was negative. And I think if they did like an NPS survey on the 3,000 wallets, it'd be like single digit NPS. Like, it would not be good. And that's just not the kind of sentiment you want heading into TGE.
Yeah, and I would say, a couple things. I want to go to Andrea and Joey in a second before I give it here. But I would say for me, it went as expected, which is why I think part of the problem, I've learned this in life. I think part of the problem,
as we expected. I don't think, even still, a lot of the participants, I don't think they quite get what it is. And it did not go seemingly as a lot of the participants expected.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. And we'll talk about it. But I think part of the problem is I'm a very logic database person, and I'll have this conversation. It's a sister conversation when I've talked about I can't have political conversations, because I'll be like, well, these people did bad things. And they're like, well, why are you saying that? And I'm like, because it's just objectively true. But then these other people did bad things, and this isn't. And it's like, I have these thoughts where it's like, I want to look at the data. Even in the conversation, I'll get into my take that I had. But even when I had my take, there were people who were commenting on my my post where I'm like, they'd be mad, and I'm like, and they'd be like, this is such a bad take, and they give an opinion. I'm like, I actually don't think we fully disagree. I think your point is sound, and I think people should give that feedback to the team, because it's their first time trying something. It didn't go as well as they wanted to. I think there are adjustments that can be made. I have some thoughts on that we can get into. But I think we approach this, you and I, one of the reasons why I think people thought you were going to go nuclear and I was going to go nuclear and blah, 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 blah. It's you and I approached this and said the expected value is $31. I never farmed, really. I maybe a kiss of farming, right? Not a ton if you really checked at it and looked at it. But bought and sold some NFTs at some profits, got stuck holding the bag on some NFTs, and I'm hoping it'll get me an airdrop from Spencer down the line. And bought some Good Vibes Club I really like. By the way, I have my two favorite Good Vibes Club I've had in my wallet maybe ever through this whole thing. And kind of naturally made my way up. Didn't go hard. And as a result, I got $800 back towards whatever I spent. Vaulted it, called it a day. And I think that you and I had a very clear understanding of what this was. I think your call, where you are correct, is you thought the market was going to react this way based on what was happening. You were right. It's very interesting, though, the psychology. Well, before I do this, because I know Andrea jumped up. She's a busy, busy lady and just gifted us some vouchers. Joey's got his hand up as well. So let's go Andrea, then we'll go Joey, and then I'll get back into the part that I thought was interesting about what you said there. But Andrea, go ahead and get in here. GM, thank you for the vouchers. We're going to do some giveaways in the next week. And
you're welcome. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see what people pull. I just wanted to come up quickly because obviously I've had the perspective of working, for the last couple months with OpenSea on this, and just seeing the brand evolve through the last few years. First of all, I think that, all the different takes are probably, like you said, right in their own way. And everyone obviously has their own opinion and experience. I think, the first piece is, if we look at OpenSea and the platform and the comms and the team they are today, it's light years better than the brand and who the platform was 3 or 4 years ago, right? Like, you feel a connection to this team. I think most people in the space can say that Adam and the rest of the guys are really listening to the feedback they're getting. I also think, we've seen the same ideas recycled over and over and over again. And you have to give credit to a team when they bring creativity to the plate. And this is something that really hasn't been done before. I mean, say what you will, they took $12 million and put it towards these rewards. I think we've got to look at the comms and if they were really driving farming or not. My personal opinion is that they were not driving true farming. It was more like, here are these rewards chests. It's going to be fun. We're going to give back our fees, blah, blah, blah. And then, people will read into that as far or as little as they want. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I interject? Because I agree with you. I think the team's doing great. And this is also why the results are disappointing, because the team is doing so many things right.
I think give them a minute though, right? Like this thing just rolled out 24 hours ago. I truly believe that they're listening.
Yes, but I think when you say the one thing you said, I just wanted to get in on is they didn't say go farm this. It doesn't matter. They have an upcoming TGE coming. Everyone knows that. The program itself is fine. I truly believe at the root cause of this, it's being convoluted with their upcoming C drop. And because there's a C drop, everyone is going to farm it. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it doesn't matter what they say or what they do, because they have a token drop. They know it's coming. People are going to farm it because they think they have to, or this is their best chance. And
there's no world that they could have gotten all of this right and made everyone happy. We know that. There's literally nothing in this space that lands that doesn't get backlash. Particularly when the spotlight is on you and you have an impending TGE, right? We've been talking about OpenSea for the last few months, and is it going to be OGs? Is it going to be new farmers? Who's going to get the most? And this leads into all of that. So I think they're in a really challenging place, but the credit that I'm giving them is they're doing something different from every other marketplace out there. The team is listening, and that's half the battle. I think they're taking in the feedback, and we'll see if there's any changes that are made. And I think, everyone has to be responsible for the choices they make or they don't make to farm. Like, if I'm going to Sephora and I'm spending, $500 or however much in a couple months, I'm not expecting to get all $500 back. I'm going to get something back. I might get like some free things, but that's kind of how I look at these programs in particular. I think, the TGE is a completely different story, but the rewards program I thought was really interesting and something different and something that will continue to evolve. And I guarantee you're going to see other marketplaces trying to do similar because, again, lacks creativity, but to be the first one to do it and to be as sort of open and flexible and communicative and sort of like the evolution of the brand. I just give these guys credit because it's not easy doing what they're doing and having the spotlight they have on them right now.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. I just think that at the end of the day, results matter. In the results, did not land. I don't think anyone, go look at the timeline. It did not land. Big crash and burn. It's not the kind of sentiment you want heading into TGE. The rewards program by itself is fine. I just think it's not going to work. It's going to be broken until they drop the token. And I think if they extend these seasons, this reward program ongoing, I think every season that goes potentially could have a more and more like a compounding negative effect towards their TGE. Like, they're alienating some of their good users.
What would you have done differently?
I would not be doing this rewards program until the token drops. I think they need to drop the token. I'm not just saying that because I want the token. I'm saying it's not landing. Like, it's supposed to be a rewards program. People should be excited about these rewards they got. 97 to 99% of people were pissed off about the rewards they got. That's just not because they're not viewing it as a rewards program. They're viewing it as a TGE farm. It doesn't matter what OpenSea says. The reality is upcoming or the other thing they could do, and this would be like the actual real actionable advice I would give. You gotta disclose what the allocation is for TGE. Just tell us you've already set aside 15 or 25% of C token that's going to go to historical usage. Will have nothing to do with these chests. Then another 5% is going to go to these chests, like in the naming conventions. Like they got to call treasure something different. People don't.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
that's a good shout, right? And again, I think the team's listening to all the feedback that's coming in. I don't think you scrape the rewards program altogether, but I think some clarity on potential links to see would be helpful. And I think like that would be a way to appease some of the timeline that's kind of giving this feedback. But I don't think that, it's a bad move taking fees and investing it back into, there's a lot of brands like BZ, for example, or smaller NFT collections or whatever that are now getting some exposure and some play to people that didn't know who they were before. Like that's a good sentiment. That's positive for the space itself, taking away just looking at OpenSea at the brand. They've done a lot for other brands as well.
Again, I agree. It's not landing with the market. The other thing they could do is go 100% of the fees to the rewards pool until TG hits. Like it's just this for all the good they're doing, all the effort that went into this. It's a really good program. You could say it's the best we've ever seen from a rewards program in crypto. It is landing horribly. And I know it's not easy. It's a very difficult task they have on them, but continuing to do the same thing they just came out of, it's the definition of insanity. Like if they run this season just like they did season 1, nothing changes. You're just going to have more people pissed off or wow, I got $37 in season 1. I got $72 in season 2. F OpenSea. I'm never using the platform again. Like some of the takes are from who I think are pretty reasonable people on the timeline. They're having really unreasonable takes on this season because again, they're conflating it with the CTGE, and I don't think there's anything they can do to separate those two until they drop the token.
Yeah, or at least give some clarity.
Yep.
Well, the good news is I think the team is really listening, and let's see, let's give them the space and the grace to roll out potentially season 2 or do something a little bit differently. But, I'm a big fan of everyone over there and what they're trying to build. And I hope that all of this goes really, really well.
Yeah, man, and these are the takes that are a little bit respectfully Crazy Token. Crazy Token has this take in the chat. It goes, if Adam was hired to create this reward to reward users, he should be fired yesterday. The only rewards winner is OpenSea as always. OpenSea keeps RKT users since 2021. I don't know what that was meaning, but one, I'm sure he hired for a great many things that is not this rewards program. 2, like I'll just echo what Andrea said. Like this is what experimentation looks like. Like this is like we say we want people to try new and different things. They are trying to actually build a real business that we're like. And again, if people want to give feedback, this is where I was having great conversations with people on my take. So I'll share my take, and then we'll get Joey in here as well in a second. I put out here, I said, here's my items for my OpenSea S1 chest. I got like $800 in, WETH. And I said, I've seen a lot of people angry about what they got. I get the frustrations, but remember, this is a rewards program. Literally no rewards program you use is plus EV. Delta and Starbucks aren't one-to-one on money spent. A sandwich shop with the punch card that has 10 slots doesn't give you 12 sandwiches when it's complete. My read since it kicked off is that this is a rewards program with some return, likely not plus EV, and a lotto element that had great chase items. On Coffee with Captain, we regularly did the math. I didn't want to tag you, Cap, because I thought this one might cook and I didn't want to blow up your mentions. So on Coffee with Captain, we regularly did the math on active wallets versus reward pool, recapped what OpenSea has said, e.g. treasure will be meaningfully considered in TGE, and largely expected that if people did this to farm it wasn't going to end well. I largely, word echo, largely, bad job out of me there. I largely use it for regular NFT activity and token swaps on LPs. I made money in a handful of flips. I didn't go far and beyond to farm. I'm sure OpenSea will evolve this as it goes, but I wouldn't go in expecting you'll get more than you put in. That's just not how a sustainable rewards program works. This isn't discount anyone's feelings, just some perspective on where my expectations were as I navigated the program, and got a lot of comments on it, which I appreciate. Like, and like the thing is, I had a lot of people who were like, I had somebody who was like, well, the way they communicated this was bad. The way that they talked about it, like they were, talking about, I'm like, okay, good feedback, good feedback. Like, give it to the team. Like the point that you made about it being damaging, like that's where the value comes for them, where it's like, I don't think it's not valuable. I think the value is they learned how the market reacts to this, how they talked about it, and they can make changes. Like that's what the business should be doing. Like somebody was like, they should have, somebody said that they should have like, juiced the rewards, which I said, I thought there might be a floor for like top 3 chests or something like that. They didn't. In a lot of ways, Cap, like that's a good thing, right? Like, you made this comment where it's like, if the farmers are getting killed, like, or if the farmers are just eating on this, then it sends the wrong message to people like you with historical volume. Like this really was a rewards program. It was not 1-to-1 for most people. It gets you back some of the things. If you did normal activity, you're probably not mad. Just like with Blast, I wasn't mad about my Blast airdrop because it was normal activity. Speaking of BZ, I use BZ on Blast. I got a Blast reward. I use the IKB on Blast. I got a Blast reward. I think for a lot of people, they did go in farming, and so they need to really evaluate what that is. One thing that's funny about what you said is people upset they didn't get an NFT when people were upset they were sweeping NFTs previously because they were all going to get dumped. And there was like, so it's like, it's interesting to hear that feedback because I would have thought one of the changes I would potentially make is just go straight fungible token, straight liquidity, not going to be 1-to-1. But it sounds like some people didn't like that idea. Maybe get a few chase items. I'm not sure they should scrap it as much as they need to have that clarity.
Yeah, they got to change the wording. They got to change the wording. It's just, you can't call treasure chests and treasures that are two very, very, very different things. I saw people like, again, that have been paying attention. They knew what they were doing. They have no idea what the treasure was for. And they came out of their treasure chest, and that's your C rewards. It's just, that's not clear yet. Most people, I know they've communicated it. It's just not landed. I thought Drew had a pretty decent take on this verbiage stuff. Thinking out loud about this OpenSea campaign, this should have been described as a treasure hunt. A fun campaign. Treasure hunts cost money. Few people find treasure and many come out empty. That's what this was. If expectations were set like that, then it's clear what we're getting into, far less disappointment. If anything, more people are happy they got anything.
I don't think that's true, though. Like, I think Drew's like living a non-existent timeline when he made that take, personally. No, I agree with you on the wording thing, right? Like, so we talked about the wording. We agree with
really bad.
We're aligned on the wording and how they need to like maybe message around it and all those things. Totally aligned there. I think Drew is suggesting something that's going to be really popular in the replies, but like, I guarantee you, if they're like, hey, it's a treasure hunt, go and we're going to treasure hunt, and just said treasure hunt the whole time, we'd have the same exact reaction on people. Be like, treasure hunt came up empty. Like, we'd have the same exact reaction. I agree with wording. I agree with description. I think a lot of people trying to act like this was a very simple fix are just wrong, though. Like, I think just like simply now, I'm
not saying it's simple fix. I just like, there's a lot of ideas.
But this seems to put it that way, right? Like, where it's like, if they just called it a treasure hunt, everyone would be like, yay, I'm glad I got anything. No way. Like, no way. Like, when I was in the Starbucks program and we were like doing that, like, there was a thing where you scanned a bag of coffee that you bought and you got a stamp that was worth $50 to sell in the secondary market. Liquidity, $50. People bought a $12 bag of coffee. The Web3 people were like, why is it only $50? Yeah, like, laugh at that. I don't pick up $50 in the sidewalk. The Web2 people were like, who flip things for cold cups for $10 were like, I bought a $12 bag of coffee and I get $50 for it. Now, that's a plus EV example, but it's an example where it's like you had to go scan a bag of coffee that you bought and you got $50 worth of a digital badge and you got a bag of coffee. And people in Web3 were like, this sucks. And people in Web2 were like, that's pretty awesome. I actually made money buying a bag of coffee. And granted, like, that's a plus EV example, but like, I don't think that the Web3 people are going to be like, well, they called it a treasure hunt. That's it. Cash money, baby. This was perfectly executed. Like, I get it. I think the language point is fair. And that's where I think it's like, it's best to parse out that the team has taken a lot of blows this morning. And I think for them, they need to go and try to find the signal, the noise, and what they can do better. Because I don't think they should just scrap rewards as a whole.
They got to stop at this point here. They got to stop confusing it with the campaign, a rewards campaign and the token drop. Be clear. Throwing a useless badge at the end of things to confuse things further definitely didn't help. It's very. Would they have less volume if they were clear about this? Yeah, absolutely. They wouldn't have been $12 million of rewards. They also wouldn't have made $12.2 million in extra fees. Like, it's the issue with this that I don't know. Like, so we've seen this box thing, like Blur did the same thing. Magically did the same thing. Mintify did the same thing. Like, this is not new for NFT marketplaces. What's new is this at the same time as one of the most anticipated pre-farm TGEs in the history of crypto. Like, they have to separate the two somehow or do it a better way.
I don't think
I don't know the answer.
Like this. Mintify's boxes weren't like this, nor were Magic Eden's. They were not like this. This is not similar in that sense, where you take a portion of like your fees that were going into your pockets, invest them in this, and have like a whole designed out sort of like rewards level up program. Like, it wasn't.
That's exactly what Mintify's was.
It was not. I had those Minify boxes and I got like random point things out of it that got me a small airdrop. That wasn't like, that's not the same at all. At least
it was less rewards because they weren't charging fees and the rewards weren't CryptoPunks, but you could win NFTs in there. It was the same thing, just a different scale. I got NFTs in the Mintify thing, and you got XP, which led to TGE, or like I said, theirs was basically identical. It was very, in that case, most people knew that they weren't going to get, I think it's expectations. Because of the big prize, people were expecting to win a fucking CryptoPunk. It wasn't realistic. Like, do the math. You had a good a chance of winning a CryptoPunk because you could have a win in the DraftKings Millionaire Maker this weekend. Like, it was 2 out of 400,000.
Worse. That's at least skill based.
There's but the expectation for many people, they thought they were going to win on this, and it's not. It was. I think the program's a lose for them because of the expectations, and the individuals set those expectations. I'm not. I am a solution provider. I want to, if I'm going to critique something, I'd like to, hey, this is what they should do, or here's an idea of something that might work better. I don't know the answer. I think they're in a bad spot. I'm just saying, looking at the results, looking at the timeline and the sentiment, this is bad, man. So it went about as poor as they could have expected. It's really bad. And I feel for the team. I like them. I like what they're doing. I agree with all the things. They're making a lot of the right moves. This program is just not landing. And OpenSea made $12 million off this program last month. People realize that. They see that. I think how it's structured, the one thing it's clear is everyone knows how much money OpenSea's making on this farm.
Yeah,
and they're not happy with what they got.
Cap, if you're rocking a chest under $13.67, please don't at me or share your opinion on my wall. I don't care about what you have to say. Reality is you need to work harder, move out of your mom's basement, and stack E/Soul and unlock a real chest and share your opinion. This is a good one. I agree. I agree with this is the thing where it's like, I don't want to come across as smashing success worked well. I had expectations going in. You had expectations going in. It landed as far as my expectations, I was like, oh, cool. I got $800. I don't know if that's plus or negative EV, whatever. I think that most of the people who saw it expected they were going to get some big plus EV reward. And that is probably on maybe how it's communicated, what it was, the conflation with TGE. I think to your point, imagine
here's the funniest thing would be when they do TGE and everyone who farmed ends up being up big because the seed, they over allocate. And then the people who are going to be it's still lose for them, because then the people who didn't farm are going to be pissed off because I really think this is not what they're doing. It's the cadence of how they're doing it. And they ship the token, drop the token.
I was going to say, imagine if because they could have justified raising their fees without putting this money towards the program, right? And just been like, hey, we're doing competitive with Magic Eden. We're getting ready for TGE, yada, yada, yada. And again, I'm not saying this would have been the way to do it, but
it would have been better if they'd raised their fees months ago instead of waiting until this program kicked off.
Imagine a world where
people probably won't even talk about it. They just raised their fees last year. No one's even talking about them raising their fees or how much money OpenSea's making off this farm. It just looks very direct. Oh, here's a way for us to make more money is we're going to get a bunch of people to go drive a bunch of fake volume, and we're going to make $12 million because we're going to tell them we're giving them back, and we're just going to give them back the extra, the increased fee. It's just, I get that take, and I understand them doing it. Just the timing of things. I'm going what's broken here isn't the program. It's fine by itself. it's the cadence and it's convoluted with their C airdrop. If it was done at a different time, the fee changes at a different time, I don't think anyone really cares that much. It's just, yeah, expectations are in this space are out of whack, and it is what it is though. Like they know the space they're playing in. This isn't new to them.
And this is sort of like the thing that you said is where I was going with it, is that if they raised their fees randomly last year, people got upset and they get over it. They keep using OpenSea. Then TG is coming. Okay, cool. And then the rewards program drops after TG. Like, hey, we're also going to start a rewards program. We're now going to take that fee that you were so upset about last year and put half of it towards this thing. People will be like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Great.
And they're like, don't expect plus EV. Like, this is a rewards program, which means like, you know, it's not going to be one-to-one return on your money. I just think like, I think there is a level in this space where people maybe don't do the math, don't have the expectations. Like, I remember like, this is a good example though. Again, Web3 people got upset about this. Starbucks Odyssey, one of the items they gave away was a custom gift card with your NFT on it from that. And it came loaded with $100 in money for your, $100 in money for your, like $100 in Starbucks cash. It was basically loaded in. It's like, so you get a $100 gift card and the gift card is your custom PFP that I have. So I got my Siren, which I love, that my Starbucks Odyssey Siren that I own on my gift card. And people are like, I spent $300 and I got a $100 gift card. It's like, yes, like you got 1 to 3 on your money, which is massive for a reward program and a custom item. And like, and at the same time, there was also a situation where there was a very low value item they had in a top tier that they had put out for, their rewards at one point. People complained, they heard it, and they changed the reward. So it's like both of those things exist. OpenSea should listen and change based on the feedback they're hearing. People should have proper expectations of what a rewards program is. And so like, but again, I understand why people are upset, because your point is there are people who are like, hey, I'm farming and I want this to be OpenSea and these are going to be meaningfully considered TGE and yada, yada, yada. Like, I think that like, if we're going to mature as a space, we need to figure out how to make this rewards program and things like this work. We need to also like read and do the math. Like we said, like, I think you and I were not surprised here. Like, so it's like, you know, I'm not surprised that people are upset though. Like I get it. And OpenSea is a easy target for a lot of people. You're going to get a lot more engagement dunking on OpenSea than you are being like, oh, I kind of expected that. But you know, that's, I understand why people are upset. I think there's improvements they need to make. I guess like people react so violently in this space sometimes that my take on bad things is like, or things that don't go well is like, what did we learn from this and what can we do differently? Like we have this conversation about every single NFT brand and we usually break it down to being like, what will we do differently? How can they learn from this? Not like that's it, scrap, shut it all down, shut everything down tomorrow. And like, that might be the answer on some of this, but it's just, I don't know. Like I think people expected that they were just going to eat, especially at the highest boxes. They thought I'll just swap $1 million worth of swaps and I'm just going to get more money than I put in. And they just held to the system that you would have expected for any rewards program. Joey, saw your hand go up. Go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, I don't think people understand the odds when it comes to blind boxes. They're typically worse than going to the casino. Like you have better odds probably playing blackjack and craps than you do in a blind box, right? Like, and I just don't.
For sure.
Typically, yeah, like we have really high odds on BZ for ours, but most blind box, right? Like you think of like opening up a pack of cards, right? And you're like, man, I really want to hit that Jordan rookie, right? Like there's only one Jordan rookie per whatever, right? Like it's just typically 80%, 70 to 80% of people in a blind box scenario are not going to make their money back, right? Like that's just how it is. And then the top 1% or less
I agree.
are the ones that are going to hit.
I agree. And I think this is why they need to pause the program or scrap the program until because you don't want 80 to 99% of your people upset or disappointed going into a major milestone moment. It's just, I agree with you. This space is going to gamble. They love gachas. It's just, they're creating basically a FUD vector because math is going to math. Most people are going to lose. Like, even if they know they're likely to lose, they're still not happy with when they lose. Why would you want so many people, so many of your users losing and upset going into TG? It's bad timing. It's a great program by itself. It's just bad timing because in most people's eyes, C has been teased for a very long time. And that's why they're farming this. They're not playing it as a blind box draw with a 50% rake. Some people would still do that, but it wouldn't be $25 million of added volume for blind box draws because they know the odds suck. But because of C, because of the TGE, it's just you don't want the majority of people losing. And D Farmer, who's been very critical of this, had a rant. Is like the reason he was so critical of over this is because the platform now actually is great. Every improvement isn't spot on. They're leaps and bounds ahead of the competition, from UX compatibility to awareness campaigns to choices of collections. They elevate. They're partnering with the right people, flawless execution, except for the most important thing. They could crater the competition for good, create an insurmountable moat, align the user base with an historical airdrop and a TG that keeps track of actual organic historical usage. And instead of what they do, they effing blur reloaded. That's right. They doubled the fees on launch day of this promo, giving you mystifying comms about one season or two or three or who knows, then gave you a 40% rake back that everyone in the timeline is now crying about. Meanwhile, every single floor is bricked and redacted farmers again because no one maths ahead. Everyone's a dopamaniac who loves a gacha. It goes on to say, there's still time, Adam and crew. You have the best-in-class product, just enough attention and goodwill to do the right thing. It's simple. Call the next one the last season. Do a proper CR drop in this charade and just help us all elevate NFTs. If nothing else, do it for your own math. You can shear a sheep for life, but you can only skin it once. The economy is not sustainable. It's small and mostly dying niche.
Like, I agree with a lot of this take. It's just he gets so hyperbolic about things. Like, by the way, like when he discovered the program after there had been like 7 communications about it last time and was upset about it, like it was like he was like, we had discussed it on the show multiple times because I asked him a question about what he'd do differently. He didn't have an answer at that time. And he's like, I don't think you understand. They're using our own fees for us. I'm like, we talked about this on our show like every single day for like 3 weeks before you discovered it, which I understand. Like that's an issue that in and of itself, but like the hyperbolic, like acting of it, it's like it's not like they were going to see D Farmer's last tweet and be like, that's it. We're going to scrap this whole program in the middle of it. He's right. It's going to do this. Like they tried to adjust. His big complaint before was it was going to brick a bunch of floors. Well, they put in WETH offers on floors, so it didn't brick a bunch of floors. Right. Like, and so like, I think we need the update from the foundation. That's a must. We need to understand how they're adjusting it moving forward. Maybe they can't make super adjustments to this based on some legal, probably legal like hurdles. I would say you can't adjust your rewards program mid-tier. So season 2 is probably going to look like season 1. I would say if the team is diligently looking at what season 3 could be like, if such exists coming into it, we'll see. But I don't think it's as simple as he's like, just drop the token. It's like, it's not that easy for a multi-billion-dollar entity to just drop the token. Like there's a lot of things they probably need to put in place. So like, we'll see what their timing looks like. I'm hoping the update, they said later this week. So that means today through Sunday at some point, the foundation should be tossing something up. And then we can have, I think, a more probably fruitful conversation about how these things all fit together. Agree with like all your points and agree with a lot of the feedback people had. Like I didn't think
it's like logically, everything you're saying makes logical and rational sense. This space is not logical. It's not rational. What's more important? What's better business for OpenSea to have the 6 or 7 of us? See what I did there? The 6, 7 of us that understand this, that read the thing and that understand it's negative EV, or have 99% of the space excited and pumped about your upcoming TGE and being ambassadors and rooting for OpenSea again. Like it just, I get it. Logically, rationally, all makes sense. Results aren't landing. You continue to do the same thing time and time again, expecting different results. It is the definition of insanity. Like
yeah,
this season 2 is not going to get any better.
And how it was discussed, people could say like, okay, like they got very excited. They talked about the purchases, and a lot of people are like I think
here's a perfect example. Cobalt box. I didn't expect CryptoPunk but thought being in the 1%, I'd get a little more than $50 though. I mean, you're more than
but that's not fair though. The Cobalt box didn't take a lot. Like he's saying
this is my point.
He's saying that
it is fair. It's actually rare bow. You did better than the expected value. You were expected to get a little over $30. You got 50.
Yeah. And like, I think like, it's like, this is a thing where it's like, if people are like, well, I spent, $72 in fees, I thought I'd get more than $50. Like, probably not. Like, I don't remember what it cost to get to the Cobalt chest. I imagine it wasn't more than a couple $100 max, which means that it's better than most rewards program. It's better than Starbucks. The best part is people telling me like, well, Starbucks and Delta didn't raise their fees. It's like, they do all the time. Starbucks nerf stars, people raise fees. Like, that happens all the time. But again, is it a logical
amount of miles you could use on a flight depends on what time of day, what day of the year. Like it's not fixed.
It's not fixed. But I agree with everything you're saying, Cap, as far as like, if I'm OpenSea today, I'm thinking, okay, we need to pick up the pieces and we need to think how we turn this into a better experience. The dev team worked really hard to put something really cool together. The team worked hard to, move they're moving percentage of their own fees, which are competitive fees, into this program. What do we do to pick up the pieces to make it better? And I don't have an answer to that, today. Like, and that's where if I'm OpenSea, personally, I'm getting on who are logically pushing back, not the fudders, but people who maybe feel some type of way. And I'm saying, what would you want to see from this thing? Or you open your box right now, you only have one thing. That means you just got a treasure. You don't have anything.
Nothing.
Spoiler alert, you're treasured. You're getting more airdrop on sea.
OpenSea. Jesus Christ, fuck them. Are you sure? There's nothing in here.
Wait, hold on. But real quick, that treasure chest that you got is going to get you more sea allocation.
More TGE. So that's what you're getting out of your box. What type of box did you have?
Yeah, so what box did you have, Cap?
Steel.
Is that the first
that was
level?
Like way at the bottom. So you probably didn't have a high chance of getting anything.
Yeah, but did they not say that every box would get a reward? And I took that as it would be more than just another treasure. I thought every box.
Well, what you got was more allocation. Like so.
Okay, so get back to comms. I truly been reading, been paying attention, and I don't care. Like I was expecting less than $32. I don't care, but putting myself in the eyes of other. I truly expected that I would be getting this plus one other treasure that was going to be, that's what I got. I got treasure because their verbiage sucks. But I truly thought I was going to get this plus one other OP token, ape token, a $12 NFT. I thought I'd get at least one thing. I thought that was every box was guaranteed to get one thing. I didn't realize that one thing was just going to be C allocation. It's fine. I don't care, but I'm telling you, it's just like, these little things matter a lot. Words matter a lot. Expectations are very hard to control in this space. They should not be fanning the flames to make expectations even more out of whack. And I think they've kind of done that intentionally or not. I don't think it was intentional, but the reality is most people's expectations, even those who we deliberated this to are, blue in the face. I fully understood the program, or so I thought. I still thought I was getting this plus one other $12 item.
Don't at that person who got $13.67 until you have a $13.67 box, Cap.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I thought that every box, I saw that popping up in the timeline, and that surprised me because I wasn't sure that was going to be accurate. Because like when I looked at it, I'm like, but I thought every box got something. So look, I mean, I think some opportunities for them for sure. And I think that there are some things that they probably missed on, right? I think that there are some things they definitely missed on. I think there's some opportunities, but if I'm them, I'm picking up the pieces and saying.
So basically, then they said every level, like they said a wooden box could pull it like a punk. I thought, did they not say that?
I think they said every box has a shot, right? And so.
Which wasn't true.
No, I think it was true. I think it was true. I think you had
I ran really bad on my steel chest to not get anything.
Right. Like you ran exceptionally poor compared to other people. So I think that's what it was. So yeah, I mean, look, it's a and like I think it's oh my God, hilarious. I'm seeing people being like, I saw your guy NFTs Anonymous saying like, wow, cool, shocker. NFTs are floor and nuking as OpenSea distributes XP rewards. Like NFT floors are nuking because the market's nuking. Like I don't think random, miladies and things that they weren't distributing. Like they didn't have Gemesises in boxes. I don't think those are way down. Like I don't know how many V friends they had. Anyway, but like I said, that's good for engagement though. That's going to get you a lot of people when it's like, I don't think that means what you think it means. But, I mean, look, I think I agree. Like the thing is like, again, I'm not like sitting here saying people are wrong in how they, and like, I said specifically in my post, like, I get why people feel that way and people played it a certain way and it didn't work out. That's okay. Like, it's okay that it didn't work out the way you thought it could or you wanted it to. My main take is that, like, I kind of expected this. I think they should pick up the pieces on it. I think they probably need to explain how it's a rewards program. I think they need to separate the two. I think what you said the whole time, which I fully agreed with the whole time, even when we had disagreements, fully agreed with you that with TGE coming up, these things need to be separated. And I think that's where we're putting ourselves in a in more of a precarious position. So like, yeah, man, I generally agree with you. And I think that you will see what happens with their TGE announcement update. I'm looking forward to hearing that. And I like, you gotta have thick skin in this market. If you're building something and you need to be willing to say, like, what is it that could be doing different? Like I said, like I worked on the Starbucks stuff. There are days when I remember sitting on the beach in the Dominican Republic on my one vacation with my family a year that I had been taking and like sitting there responding to people in Starbucks Discord who were mad about certain things that were happening that were out of my control that I needed to work on. And which was hilarious because the program shut down like 3 months later. And I was like, why was I ruining my vacation on the beach? But like, it's just part of life, man. Like it's part of like building in this space. Like they need to look at what they can tangibly learn from this. I personally refuse to believe that a really good rewards program in Web3 can't exist. I refuse to believe that they shouldn't take a go at this sort of thing.
I think they should. It's just bad timing. Do it after TGE.
Yeah. Again, that fair feedback now. I mean, they had it running.
They're creating more unnecessary headaches and work for themselves. They don't have to do this. I guess they wanted the attention, the volume. They wanted to create some momentum.
I don't think it's just as much as that, though. I think just to be fair, real quick, not to cut you off, but I think it's worth saying, like, let's say that
I don't think they should scrap it afterwards. I think that would be even worse if they scrap it post TG. They need it post TG to keep the attention, and they should find some way to you get a multiplier on your chest rewards if you're staking X amount of C. Like they got to create some utility for C, and I think this has the makings of a really good rewards program for a rewards program. Right now, I'm going to say 90 to 97% of the space is not viewing it as a rewards program that it's intended to be. They're viewing it as something different. I think that it's got potential. It's just never going to grow into that potential until after they drop the token.
I think like the point I was going to make though is like, I get what you're saying, but also like, again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but put yourself in this potential situation. OpenSea announces, starts doing the voyages and announces that like C is going to come, but they're going to need some runway to make this thing happen. People have been hitting them up on C. Maybe they should have delayed the seed announcement. Can't go back. That genie is out of the bottle. They need to do something interesting instead of just getting yelled at about TGE. So they're like, what do we do? Okay, well, we can do these voyages. So they did some voyages and they're like, all right, so that's getting people excited about the platform. We're getting them to use our new features as we introduce those, and we still have TGE coming. What else do we need to do? Well, maybe we could throw together a rewards program. Like, I don't think it was implicitly, like, I think people are assigning this like malicious, like they increase fees and just put this rewards program in place just for them to like farm us. And that this is all a big farm going in before TGE and they're sucking us dry. It's like, I don't think that was the intent. I think it's entirely more likely there are like, I don't know what the parameters are around TGE because I have never done a TGE before. I think it's entirely more likely that they probably have a target time for TGE and they need to find ways to fill that space and they're trying to do something new. And, instead of just raising fees and being like, hey, raise our fees and TGE's coming up, so go use our platform, they put half of that money back into a rewards program. So I think it's just like, I think people ascribe a lot of things and they say, like, some of the people who I see pissed off who farmed it say that OpenSea's intent was to just drive up fees and drive volume and it was all predatory and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I don't think that was the case, but what does that have to do with the fact that like you farmed it and you made the choice to farm it? Like, and I understand people are like, so I don't know. I think like the TGE clarification needs to happen. I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle. Like, I think.
Well, to answer your question, they farmed it because they think they have to for C. They didn't farm it for. I don't think many farmed it for the chest. They farmed it for C. That's what's broken with the program.
I think it's.
They don't even know the reward yet. They farmed it and it's not been completed yet. But they're not farming it to get to spend $10,000 for a $30 EV chest. They're farming the $10,000 because they think it's going to lead to more C allocation. And maybe it will, maybe it won't, but that's the problem.
I don't think that's the case based on a lot of feedback. Though I think
I don't think people are spending near what they spent for a blind draw gotcha box.
I think people who spent the highest amounts, a lot of them thought that this was a plus EV activity guaranteed because they were introducing the first season of it. Like based on what I saw on the timeline, I think people being like, I spent $5,000 get $1,500 back. I spent $3,000 and got $2,000 back. Like I think people thought it would be plus EV because they didn't run the math on it. I think a lot of people did, but I think they're in a tough spot. I don't know. This is also like, I'm just going to call it out because I know like Phonics wants to give me shit on some stuff. Like, I get this point. This is such a weird Monday morning quarterback point to me, where it's, and we'll go to Hans here in a second, and then we'll kind of wrap through in a minute. But he goes, lesson OpenSea's campaign, careful expectations you create. Better to have low expectations and outperform them. That's what's getting people bow posting. You see Hyperliquid. I know Phonics loves Hyperliquid. This has nothing to do with Hyperliquid. There is no comparison to Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is a perp that makes money on that product, and they did a giant airdrop. This is a platform that people have had issues and back and forth with for years. Like not everything, like this is sort of one of those things where it's like, not everything's about Hyperliquid, bro. Not everything's about Hyperliquid. Like this has nothing to do with Hyperliquid. It's a completely different platform with a completely different set of problems, with a completely different set of circumstances. And it's not the same thing at all. Like, again, like it's a weird comparison. I think that there's opportunity for them to improve. I agree with the feedback you've given. I agree with what you just said about the market is the market and the expectations are the expectations. I also think there's opportunities to improve upon it and keep it going. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to that update on the foundation. It's also, again, like B Epic said, no crying in the casino. It's like I said, no crying in a casino except on certain things that you don't like and certain brands you don't like. And this one happens to be the one that people cry in the casino about, but I get it. And I also understand the feedback on it, which is why I said, like, I get why people are upset. I get why people are disappointed. My expectations were in check. I think to your point, it probably did more damage than good. And so it's like, hey, how do you make this better moving forward? If you can't do it in season 2, you can do it in season 3 if there's a season 3, or you can figure out what the next steps are to improve it accordingly. Like, that's what I would say. I would get on the phone with some people and start figuring out how to improve it to make as many people happy as possible. Got 2 hands in here. Let's go Burge, because Burge is new on the stage here, and then we'll go Joey Vowels. Burge, GM.
My thinking is this. I still think there's a chance that this becomes positive EV with the treasure. That counts towards your C airdrop, right? So I still feel like that's, and I also feel like a lot of people are very reactionary. People were expecting, like Blur season 1, like this to be well worth their time and to immediately get paid back more than they put in.
You know what? Can we pause real quick? This is a great point. This is a great point because all those other farms, like Blur, after season 1 concluded, it wasn't just XP. They got their actual Blur. They got something immediately that they got their token that they could immediately liquidate, right? Is that correct?
Yep.
It's a big deal. It's a very big difference.
I did it. And I was late, like farming it. And I got, what was it? Like I was late farming it. I farmed it a bit, but not crazy. But I did go like hard in the short period of time. I got $2,000 in Blur, and then the token surged, and I managed to exit somewhere around the top, and got like $4,000 for free. And like comparatively, this one I was late to wave 1, season 1. I farmed this. I got $280 of Ethereum. Look, I thought it was a little bit on the low side, but at the same time, I wasn't like throwing my toys out the pram, which a lot of people were on X or in the Discord, because the way I farmed was like by making break even or positive ROI trades, like buying and selling NFTs that had a strategy token attached to them, like the checks collection, for example. and then buying and then swapping for some tokens. I did do that, but a lot of people like it felt to me like a lot of people literally were buying NFTs and quick selling them for a loss and thinking that this airdrop was going to pay them back. That's dumb, in my opinion. But they actually could still be right. They could still break even or could still get paid back with the C airdrop. We don't know how much these treasures are going to count to, but Adam Hollander replied to someone in the comments section on underneath one of his posts, and it was someone basically saying the same thing, which is, I feel like these treasures are going to count to a meaningful amount of C token, and as long as that token can perform well, this could still be worthwhile for people to have participated in wave 1 and wave 2 and spent that money on fees. But I never think it's a good idea to go into this farming it in terms of like just swapping as much money as possible constantly and eating that 1% fee, or buying NFTs and quick selling them into offers and losing money that way. I think people have to be a lot smarter.
Agreed.
We're in a different age to where we were Blur when the Blur airdrop came out.
We do have to give Adam and team credit, though, for adding meaningfully considered into all of crypto's vernacular. That'll be the most common phrase in 2025.
Yeah, that's an interesting phrase.
Yeah, I wonder how much legal. The other thing is, like, people don't realize, like, again, when on the side of like Adam and stuff, I have no idea if this is the case or not. But I remember when I would try to go back and forth with legal on such a regular basis, it was like I like getting the ability to say what you want to say, like the amount of back and forth, get to like meaningful, like he's like, can you say it affects CG? Can you say I can only imagine the legal conversations that go on with those sort of things. So
some attorney definitely had like well over 10 grand in billable hours on just coming up with that phrase.
That phrase. I think Burge has like got the point though. Like Burge is like us, where it's like we kind of expected, we get it, and the hilarious part is it still could be a plus EV play, of course. But it's funny, like Burge is with us as far as like that situation. And I've never been I've just never been a person who's like, like buy this thing, sell it for less and expect that you're going to make money on it. It's just like I was always trying to do break even or less, or break even or better on every trade I did on OpenSea when I was playing like that game a little bit. It was fun to play. And I don't know, man, it's a very interesting, it's a good take. And like, I think the other thing that's interesting about it, and I'm not, again, this is going to come across the wrong way, but it's like one of the things I try to do like pretty regularly is I try to think like, what did I do wrong? What did I do well? How can I be accountable for the thing that I've done? And like, I think a lot of people like look for like where they can point the finger about what they don't like about how it was handled from someone else. And like I lost a bunch of money getting too crazy in my LPs. I didn't go to Project X and be like, how dare you offer a yield boost on this particular LP? And I lost money and got wrecked by plasma. And like, it's just, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't react the way they want to react, because they can have feedback about, I don't like what this is. I don't like the way it was approached. I don't like these other things. But it is very interesting. It's a human trait. It's not unique to crypto. And like, I probably am too hard on myself at times. I've gotten that feedback from friends and family, but like, I generally like, what could I have done better or differently here? Not like I'm the, I don't know, like it's just a different way of approaching it, I think, a little bit. But Cap, let's go to Joey, and then we can probably get ready to close out here. Joey, get in here.
Yeah, I hear everyone's perspective and I respect everybody's opinions. I also think that this space runs on negativity a lot. And if people it's really easy to go on the timeline and see all of the negative comments about how, oh, I got to this chest and only got this, and got to this chest and only got this. And, it all gets like, all of that drowns out the three people that did win CryptoPunks that didn't spend a lot of money, or maybe they did, or all the people that got Pudgy Penguins or got Moonbirds or whatever the case is. Or so I just think that we also have to understand that the timeline in this space, the most engagement typically comes from FUD, and some of it is just people playing a character on the timeline because they want likes and comments to get their X check. Some of it is probably valid, but I do think that when you have a company that's willing to test and try and push the boundaries, and because they could have done nothing. They could have just raised their fee by 1% to match all of the other marketplaces that are out there and not given back anything. And I think that's the part that we also forget. Like, they didn't have to do any of this. They could have just kept farming, telling people C's coming, C's coming, C's coming, and that's all you got. And we're losing sight of the fact that they're trying to do stuff because the most engagement people get on the timeline is fun. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying people don't have a right to feel the way they do, but I think we also need to take a step back and again, understand why you did this. I took Steve's approach. I didn't go buy a bunch of crazy stuff and do all kinds of swaps and lose a bunch of money on fees. I did normal things that I would do over the course of a day on OpenSea, and I got like roughly $200, and I got another chest towards C. Do I wish I won a CryptoPunk? Of course, but I knew my chances of winning one were minor. And I just think that, like, again, in this space, the most engagement comes from FUD, and sometimes we need to drown out that noise and give people credit for what they're doing.
The market down doesn't help either.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously everybody right now is dooming. I mean, what did you post today, Cap? Where are we at right now on the fear and greed index?
Extreme fear. 23.
Yeah. So imagine if this was a month ago when Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs and ETH was hitting all-time highs and Sol was at 250. I'm sure people would have a different perspective on things. Maybe not drastically different, but the sentiment would probably be different in the space than where it's at right now.
Yeah, the FUD would be less like it's exaggerated by the fact that people had this potshot chance of getting them back, like paying them back. And obviously most people, unless you were very, very lucky, didn't get paid back a ton. I still cling to the fact though, that without like the C airdrop could pay people back, and without really you dropping a token, I don't really understand how you pay back people tons.
Yeah.
I mean, like in the world of reward programs, like most sandwich shops have a buy 10, get one free. So if your sandwich costs you $12, you're spending $120 to get $12 for free. Like, that's the world that we live in Web 2, right? Like, or if you go to Kohl's, right? It's like spend $50 and get 5 free dollars. That's the world that most normal people live in. And then in our space, you spend, I spent probably, I don't know, my guess is right around $300 or $400 in fees. And I got close to $200, not including what I'm going to get in my C airdrop now, because I earned that Mariner's Chest Tier 7. That's like a 50% return on what I spent in fees. That's unheard of in like the Web 2 world for a rewards program.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like, it's like, I agree with you, but I also understand the perspective of the market is the market. We are where we are, and we need to just, like, they need to read that. And it's, I think you, like I said, you pick it up, you figure it out, and you go from there. That's all I can say is I think it's just it's a matter of like understanding, like, what the market's reaction is and doing your best. And I think people, I mean, it was in the chat, like Blue mentioned in the chat, like, do people forget the history of OpenSea and da-da-da? We're like, no, they think that's why they don't get the benefit of the doubt, because they had the Nate Chastain stuff, because they've had issues in the past with the marketplace and how they've approached things. Like, I think they've had those issues that they've run into, and I think people feel some type of way about them. And I think the majority of the space just wants a token. We've talked about it, like, which I get. They want a business and people using products, which I also get. Those two things can come into conflict with each other. The update from the foundation, I'm hoping, like, I think there's a lot of pressure on their update from the foundation this week.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's not, it's not looking like people are feeling great about it. So the foundation is going to be, update is going to be huge. And
dropping a TGE right now is probably not. Like dropping a TGE in the next like 30 days is probably not the best decision.
Maybe,
if we're
or maybe
talking about when they should do it.
Maybe China and
I think
Trump.
they'll be after wave 2.
I mean, maybe China and Trump do a deal, and we are flying in the future. I don't know, man.
They're going to do a deal. China and US will definitely do a deal.
Yeah. So once that happens, like maybe something. So, anyways, we'll see. But I just think like a lot to learn there. Generally agree with the point that you made there, Cap, as well. And I don't disagree with anything. That's the thing. Like it's weird because people like are like, I just think I have a different perspective on it. But like I don't disagree with anything you've said, Cap, and I don't disagree with. I don't think that invalidates my perspective and how they should approach it. I think they just got to think about it.
Your perspective is right. My whole point I'm trying to get across is I agree with almost everything you're saying. The market is not. The market
is the market, and the market is the market. And so
they have to react to this. They can't just put their head down and try to defend their stance or explain why other people are wrong. Like I tell you, that's a PR nightmare. If they come out aggressive today and try to tell everyone why they're wrong and you just misunderstood or you had wrong expectations, people will riot. Like, it doesn't matter if they're right. It didn't land, and they have to own that and make changes.
Yeah. Well, and I also think the point that was made about the market is probably pertinent too. If the market was flying upwards, I don't think people would be as upset. Plus, those boxes would be worth a lot more across all those tokens. So, like, somebody who has got a token that's dropped 50% in the past month or more, it's like, well, shit, that would have doubled the price of your box. So I think that there's probably also a little bit of that happened. The timing of it couldn't have been much worse as far as the place we're in. Could have been worse, but not much worse. So I agree. Like the market's the market. Have some discussions with some people about what went well and what didn't. Some people who are reasonable, not people who are just going to yell at you, and survive in advance. I saw Laura jump to the stage. I don't know if we want to get in here, Laura, before we close down. But any other thoughts you want to jump in on this topic or any other before we get out of here?
Just wanted to say hi, and I guess on this topic, we could talk about it for hours. But I guess my first reaction, I was also like, what happened? I was like, is my thing broken? Like, I was like, this is all I got. And I love the team, and I know they've been working hard. So I think the expectations were high. I think that once instead of just reacting, I started looking into it. And I think, Steve, what you said makes sense. I was like, if the same token they would have given it to me when the market didn't just completely died, then at that point I probably would have been like, oh, this is good. Does that make sense? So I think that once you look into the reasoning, the why, but I get why people were upset, and all it makes me think is like to continue. If this was the end of the treasure hunt, fine, but to continue it, like I really don't know how many people are just gonna continue playing this and being hyped about it, or thinking there is added value to them. To participate more, I feel like then people are just gonna not be incentivized for a rewards program. It's just gonna be, okay, I use it when I need to use it. And obviously with how things were explained, people were probably either farming or just using it a little bit more because they're like, oh, there is a price, right? Like there is a price to gain at the end of this. But now that we sort of see what the price is, I think we're gonna see a lot less action. I don't know. I joined late. I was in a meeting, but I don't know if you guys talked about that part. Like how is this second phase gonna look like, and if you guys think that it should just end now?
I think like honestly, like I think when the dust settles, it might not be the worst thing in the world, because I do think there's a world here where the dust settles on this, and what actually ends up happening is we see people doing less farming and using it sort of in the way that a lot of other people used it, and that's probably not a bad thing overall. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably healthy, a healthy setback for a lot of that thing. Not that I want people to lose money, but probably healthy in the sense that like I think people probably use it the way you would expect it to be used now, and you go from there. But it's like, sucks for them, because I think, I know they genuinely put in a lot of work here, and they're taking a brand hit. And that's the thing that's never fun, is when you do a bunch of work on something and then when it actually comes out. And I think that's going to be the case for anything they do that's not dropping a token, unfortunately. It's just this one did not land well for a lot of people. I think expectations were super high. And so I think, the last thing you want to do is have your team work until 2 a.m. for a brand hit. And I think that's where it comes down to. That's the world they're in. I think that they just, I think we got to get a good update from the foundation. And I think once we have the update from the foundation, we'll have a better thought. But Laura, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it really does pain me, and it sucks because the sentiment has changed drastically about OpenSea in the timeline, and then getting this major hit is like we want to win, right? Like, we want our ecosystem to be better. We want the legacy brands that we have used on and off forever at this point to do well, and to see all the changes that they have implemented just being overshadowed by this. I also think it's not fair, and you don't have to sugarcoat if you were unhappy about what you received, but also like we have been happy about so many other things, and about the updates, and about the work that they have been doing. So the two could like coexist. I think it's important for us to see that as a bit bigger picture. And I put like my little pinned tweet for like a second. I was like, I could take it off. I don't know. I didn't ask for permission, so sorry. Just because I'm curious to see people want to vote, to see like if they're going to continue to be incentivized about participating in the rewards system. And that's it. At the end of the day, like Steve, like you mentioned, way more about rewards programs than anyone else. And you're right. Like, I don't go to Starbucks because I'm like, oh, they're going to give me a perk. Like, I go because I'm like, I want my fix. I want my, my little coffee. And whatever comes from it, then I'm just excited about it, but I'm not farming their reward system because it makes no sense. So yes, I'm just curious how many people will continue to do it that way, or just forget about the perks.
Yeah. I mean, I got a leveled up box because I bought a Good Vibes Club that I really wanted yesterday. Probably the way to go. And then, yeah,
that's awesome.
and that's the way you go. That's the way to do it. Like, I bought a Good Vibes Club I wanted. I had a nice person in my mentions compliment me on my new Good Vibes Club. I just got 2 that are absolutely fire. And then probably my favorite 2 I've held. So excited to have those. And look, we're going to keep rolling here. We're going to get 5 BZ claw draws at some point in the next week or so. So we'll get people going, or we'll get some BZ claw draws. Maybe I'll do a couple for content. We'll do some giveaways on the show as well. But Cap, I think kind of what I expected from the conversation this morning. Didn't work well for them. Didn't net out well for them from a reputation perspective. In retrospect, they probably want to make some changes moving forward. And rooting for them, but definitely a tricky, not an easy tightrope to walk when people are really looking for this TGE, understandably so. And look, it's been 7-8 months since people have talked. I think we're coming up on 7-8 months since the TGE it sees coming. So I think people are ready to look out for that. And I think there's a conflation of factors, but this happening on a down day in the market, when people are looking for opportunities to get airdrops, when people are hearing they're going to get $77,000 from Monad, it's like it is a lot. And give some credence to Kane's point about like keep those big voices happy, or else you'll see things go sideways. Like if you saw a bunch of big voices getting paid out, like if those whales had gotten paid out, you might see some happier people. So who knows? But Cap, any other thoughts before we jump out of here?
Quick high level. When you guys send you off on the weekend on a couple good notes. We were talking earlier about like big things, positive things for crypto, and just 2 more potentially massive tailwinds. Mr. Beast and his 500 million subscribers. He filed a trademark for Mr. Beast Financial, signaling his move into Bitcoin and crypto services. Venture plans offer mobile banking, crypto services, micro lending, investment management, and financial education tools targeting his massive audience. And then, in addition, if Mr. Beast doesn't do for you and his demographic, how about the boomers and Charles Schwab and their $11 trillion under management to launch spot Bitcoin and crypto trading by 2026? $11 trillion sideline, Steve, that could be buying our tokens.
Higher? I don't know. I can't even get it. Can't even get into it at this point. I would just want to say so much higher, but I can't. I just can't. It's just we are bleeding and we are vaulting and stabling. I don't know. maybe I'll pull some stables and move them into some positions. I have a decent amount stabled, all things considered. But that's the beautiful part about vaults, by the way, is that like I probably have, a decent amount stable. By the way, I also keep telling people, talk about Katana on the timeline, use the platform, tweet about it. Gotten like $500 a month for the past 2 months that they've just put straight into a stable vault that's earning yield and Katana token. So some good stables, there. That's it, Cap. Let's say they're off into their weekend. Bumpy weekend. Hopefully the markets turn around. Be curious to see how OpenSea, nets out and makes any changes if they do. I know they are a busy bunch. Going to be a bumpy week next week on Coffee with Captain. Also, just for a, from a just show perspective, I'll probably be out for 9 a.m. on Monday because I got to do the Harvard Law School pre-meeting for my speaking up the following week. I'm flying out to Vegas I'll be on the road Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday home, Thursday I'm flying out to Vegas, Friday you're flying out to Vegas. And then I think that should be the only disruption because I think my flight is in the afternoon on Monday that gets me into Boston. So we'll figure it out from there. But appreciate everyone coming through this morning. Hang in there. Tough markets. This time shall pass. You're one good orange man tweet away from 150K Bitcoin. It's how it goes down. So send everyone off into their weekend. Thanks everyone who came through this morning. Talk to everybody bright and early Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're here no matter what. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.